Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews podcast number 27.
Number 27?
I'm Gary.
I'm really tired.
And joining us for the podcast is Jess. Welcome, Jess, to the podcast.
Hey,
Hello.
Jess.
Jess, of course, has joined us on some of the earliest reviews
Yes.
before we were even officially named Off the Shelf.
Yeah, well,
Yes,
you
indeed.
were there when we just used to talk to ourselves and not the camera.
Yeah.
In a dark room, shadowy place.
Yeah, people used to complain.
We just
you
left
and I
the mic on
argued.
and accidentally uploaded videos to internet. Oops.
Well, yeah, we just talked. Yeah, yeah.
So, of course, in this podcast, we're going to be catching up on the recent film and games we've been playing, the recent film news. The theme of this podcast is going to boldly go where every nerdy, geeky podcast has gone before.
Yes.
We're going to be talking about Star Trek.
Star Trek. Yes.
And, of course, in the third part of the podcast, we will be answering your questions. So, before we get into the catch-up, a few of the shelfers have asked me to give a few of the statistics
Yes.
for the channel. And they really wanted to know where our viewer demographic mainly was.
Yeah.
And I can say now that I run the analytics from the beginning of the channel.
He's using all the big words.
Clever
And
stuff.
Yeah.
from the United States is the majority of our audience, with 54% of all viewers coming from the United States.
Nice.
26% from the United Kingdom. Only 4.5% from Canada. We got a 3.2% in Australia, a 2.9% in Germany, and a 1.1% in Sweden.
Sweden. Sweden. Those crazy Swedes.
I can also say that there is between 0 and 9% in Italy, Spain, Mexico.
I mean, we look
Japan.
at it though. We're worldwide.
We are worldwide.
We're worldwide, motherfucker.
We are.
Gone
yeah.
international, boys.
Yeah.
It has changed over time. Almost every month it kind of changes, but we are primarily 91% of our audience is male.
That's you. It's your hair.
And 9.1% female
So
audience.
That's
That's
me,
all you.
mate. That's
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
See how I work out?
Yeah.
See how I work double up?
Lady killer.
Yeah, man.
Although I do think it's interesting that we do have quite an even split of female to male Patreon donators.
Yes, yes.
So again, big thank you to all the Patreon.
Yeah, thank you all.
But just a few more analytics if they want to know what the highest rated video on Off the Shelf Reviews channel is since its lifetime.
Dead
Is-
Rise and Watch Her.
Nope. It's
Metropia.
Wow. No one watched that one.
No one watches
We didn't even
Metropia.
watch that one, did we?
Yeah, we watched Metropia, yeah.
The highest rated video on the channel is Alien Covenant.
Fucking hell.
it's not the highest rated movie,
that's
is it?
in terms of how many views the video's had, and also for the general watch time of the video, being it one of the longest videos on the channel. A lot of people watch that video from start to finish, which is why it's quite highly rated.
Probably
Yeah,
in shock. This
that's
film was
it.
an exciting adventure for
the
everybody.
sickest thing is like you expect to see, right? I expect to see people come back negatively and be like, no, Ian, you're completely wrong about it. But no, they support Alien Covenant. They're like, these guys know what they're talking about. It's like, so does that prove the film is shit?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think everyone. I think
Yeah.
everyone knew it was bad. But
Yeah.
interestingly, the next popular video on the channel is Prometheus, followed by Aliens. So literally, our Aliens videos are the most
It
successful.
does
Yeah.
seem
on the
like
channel.
your demographic really
And
love
it-
those movies.
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
hates to love those
we are
movies or loves to
diehard
hate those
Alien
movies.
Yeah.
fans, though. So yeah. But interestingly, all the John Carpenter ones, Halloween videos, are doing very well.
Well, they love John Carpenter.
Right, it doesn't matter.
The It and Exorcist videos are very popular, and also completing the top 10 of our videos is Terminator 2 and Sleepaway Camp.
Nice.
They're the most successful videos on the
Well,
channel.
sci-fi horror there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm noticing a pattern, but you know, we've got a lot of videos out there.
Yes.
A lot of crazy ass shit, and
Yeah.
that's why I
There's
bring
more
up.
to go.
That's why I bring up Metropia. Metropia was one of our first videos that we did, and it was a really rare film to come across. And yet I look at the video and I'm like, it's still only got like 4,000 views after about 7 years of doing the show. And 135,000 views on Terminator 2. Metropia's like, nah, we don't want to
Well, people can only go back so far, and especially with when YouTube lays out these things. You
Yeah.
go all the way to the bottom of your list of
Well,
films.
some people have, just
Yeah.
out of curiosity, to see what lurks at the big
John
dawn
dies
of the
at the
channel.
end.
Well, it's like oh, John dies at the end.
John
It's a great
dies at
film.
the end, that's a great film.
I was going to say
After.
the two other things I think I've done with you, Gary, were Dark Corners of the Earth. Was it?
You did Lockout.
Lockout
was
and
a
obviously
great
Halo
film.
Wars 2, I think I sat on.
Yeah, I think you were also in one of the early videos pre off the shelf when I was back at university.
Yes, the university
Yes.
video.
The,
we watched Double Agent 73, I think it is.
With
the tits.
the gun tits.
The gun tits with the camera.
Man, you're making me feel old because I think we all had more hair then.
I had the same amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, what else you been up to, Gary? Apart from looking at analytics.
Other than looking at the analytics, I've been playing Resident Evil 2.
How is
Still a lot. Of course, I said in the video how great Capcom's work is on really doing the game a massive service by putting in all the love and attention to detail that the original game had.
Oh yeah.
The only thing that I'm still a little bit upset with the remake is that the A and B system is pretty pointless for the remake. In the original game, it was integral to it.
Yeah.
Because once you'd done the A campaign and then was playing the B campaign, certain items that you'd left would still be there for your B campaign player.
Yeah.
And also things that your character had done in the A campaign wouldn't need to be done by the B player because the other player had done it. So you felt a sense that both characters were moving through
A living, breathing world.
a living, breathing world. Whereas the remake, you just go through the exact same beats again with the extra bit tacked on at the end, which is what was there. You know, both characters fight Birkin. Both characters come across Mr. X. You know, Mr. X wasn't even in the A playthrough.
Yeah, true.
So it's that's the only thing I have an issue with. But other than that, I'm still playing the game. When I just want to relax, I'm just going to put the game in and just play the game from start to finish. You know.
So as a
just enjoy
remaster, it's done its job. It's come back.
Absolutely.
It's polished and a gem.
It really is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it doesn't take anything away from my love of the original game because I will still occasionally just go, I'm going to crack out the original Resident Evil 2 and speed run that one through. Well, it's my favourite game in the franchise.
Yeah.
And it gives me faith as a fan of Resident Evil that when they make a Resident Evil 8 and when they do an inevitable remake of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, I can only imagine that a Code Veronica remake will come as well. And I just hope that they hold the franchise together better instead of letting other companies make derivative cash-in, Resident Evil titled games that flooded the market during Resident Evil's prime time.
Yeah.
I'm
worried about, for an example, as a game I'm more concerned about is Final Fantasy VII. The remake of that. I don't think they understand.
It looks like it's going to be pieced out over several years, over three separate
and it sounds like, they're either milking it for money.
It's a game too big to remaster fully.
Or they're not invested. And it looks like they're changing it to the newer design of gameplay where you're like, 7 hasn't changed itself. the remake of 2, 7, hasn't changed the dynamic of what is a Res Evil game.
Yeah.
I think that's what
kept the soul of the game.
Yeah.
Even though it's a third-person shooter, not, the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think, I was just thinking this, I think maybe that's what Capcom's going towards. I mean, whenever we have, we haven't really had remakes before. We've only had HD remasters.
Yeah.
And
the Resident Evil remake was one of the first, and
that was one of the first, all the way back on the GameCube. Now, look what Capcom did with the new Biohazard. It was first person, set in a house.
But they were, after the
not really a lot connected
Resident Evil 6, they waited a while and they went for something different.
They went with something new, but they brought out a remake. So maybe what Capcom need to do is keep making Resident Evil games that do break away from the Resident Evil story that we all know and love.
Yeah.
But remake the Resident Evils that we all know and love.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because then you will buy both of them. I haven't played
to remake Resident Evil 4 though, do they?
No, 4 is generally considered. You like 2 the most is your favourite. You said.
Maybe not remake it, but
4 is arguably the most successful because most people speak of it as the best personification of
they still never told.
They created a game type, that was emulated by everything within that genre.
Yeah.
All the way to Dead Space, which I love.
They haven't really told the story of Chris and Jill in Europe before they hook up with.
There's the Umbrella Resident Evil Revelations games, which fill in some of the stories between Jill and Chris and some other characters.
Yeah, they're all right though. Those games are all right.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're
I mean,
okay.
they are.
I mean, I played Umbrella
Resident Evil
Chronicles on the
4
Wii.
games. Yeah,
and I played Dark Side Chronicles as well. Any extra Resident Evil stuff, I'll just eat it up, and I can't wait to start the second game.
Yeah. So other than playing Resident Evil 2, I've just finished watching, and I know I've mentioned it to both Iain and Jez, and Jez actually finished the show before I did.
I stopped
based on my
after you
recommendation.
watched it before.
It's the Umbrella Academy, which is currently on Netflix. And it's about a disbanded group of superheroes that reunite after their adoptive father, who trained them to save the world, has died. It stars Ellen Page, Tom Hopper, and Robert Sheehan.
Is Robert Sheehan the guy from Misfits?
Yes. Yeah, he was great in Misfits. He only had like 14 episodes.
They bring in...
He stole every...
He saved the first fucking 3 seasons of Misfits, and then when he left, it almost failed, but Joseph Gilgun came in and saved it.
And saved
if they bring him in...
And that links us back to Lockout.
If they bring him back in, if they bring Joseph Gilgun into the Umbrella Academy, everything will just go crazy.
Well, he's doing great in The Preacher right now. So.
Yeah, he's doing great in Preacher.
He's great. Cassidy's in Preachers, he's great.
But, I mean, I saw the trailer for Umbrella Academy and I was like, this looks really good.
Yeah.
Really good. You know, all the superhero stuff that we've had recently, Gotham, Daredevil, Jennifer Jones. I got bored of all of it. All the DC,
me too.
I was just like, I know how this is all going to win. Daredevil's not going to get killed in the first 3 episodes of the Daredevil series because they need him alive for all the stories.
But that's you knowing the comic. I'd say the Umbrella comic.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
nice.
anything about Umbrella Academy.
These slightly more fringe comics are great. But yeah, the Umbrella, it's quirky, it's colourful, it's wonderful. The Umbrella Academy is brilliant fun for everybody. I think it has
very high production values.
Yeah, I just came off Daredevil season 3 and then went straight into that. Obviously, while watching some Discovery and other shows at the time, but it felt like a breath of fresh air. It's crammed an awful lot in. And at one level, you might say, they're getting it speeding through is a bit fast, but I think you can tell they're lacing it for future seasons. And I've read the comics.
It can't be as bad as fucking Doom Patrol. Fuck me, I sat through the first episode of that and I was like, flashback again? I mean, I had just sat through a film that had just done like 4 or 5 flashbacks all in a
Well, actually, the film we did didn't have flashbacks. They just had backstories.
But in Doom Patrol, it was all flashbacks building up these characters. Does it do that in Umbrella Academy? Does it flood you with all the
jumps
info?
Through time because
and they've got these
certain
kids,
characters
child
can
actors.
time travel.
But they worked that into the show.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
the time travel's good, and the production value again is
fantastic.
It's amazing.
It's very
and
well
the actors
done.
are brilliant.
Ellen Page, though, I mean, I love Ellen Page. I love anything Ellen Page is in. Really.
Yeah, she was good. She's great in it. I like the way she develops through the show, and I've read a little bit after I watched the show, and the way she changes her dress, subtle things about her change as the show progresses, because she's got her reasons to be angry in the show, but it's such a good.
It's a good ensemble cast. Every episode is very well produced. It's an hour long each episode.
There's animation that pops up in some episodes.
There's musical numbers.
Oh, the musical numbers! I chuckled.
Oh, they're doing musical numbers already.
Huh?
They're doing musical numbers in their
episodes already.
Well,
yes,
but when I say musical numbers, it's wonderful. They're wonderfully done. I mean, when you saw them in Buffy, it felt like
that's
they
what
were
I'm
doing
saying. Any TV show that has singing and dancing in kind of, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a good thing.
No, but
any show that does singing or dancing gets a couple of boosts in my rating because it breaks the normality.
Well, no, you say that, but they do it intentionally in one episode without. We're going to spoil a little bit here, but there's a point where there's an episode that is undone by time travel.
Yes,
and
so
it makes
the whole
this
episode
bittersweet.
Didn't even happen.
Yeah, this makes a truly bittersweet encounter because there's a certain dance scene in it between 2 characters.
Yeah.
That's very beautiful, and the kind of realization between the 2 of them, and then it's undone immediately, and you realize that's quite a powerful tool they've got in their kind of narrative box where you could have a beautiful revelation that fixes everything, undone like that.
Yeah,
and it's in a tragedy. And I said I keep messing this up. Where's
it's making me think of
it's like the Wes Anderson directed film.
Yeah,
I said that earlier.
There's that beautiful shot in the first episode where they're all in this mansion and they're all in their rooms and they're all dancing.
Because one of them's got a record.
One of them's playing a record that they would remember from their childhood, and so they're all in their own rooms and they're all dancing to it because no one's watching them, and the camera pulls out half of the mansion's missing, and you can see into all of their rooms at the same time. So
and they're all doing silly dances. There's this one guy who's a badass who throws knives. He's dancing because nobody can see him. They're all dancing humanly, should we say, vulnerable.
But I mean, I was hooked from the get up where right at the beginning it just says there were all of these children all born at the exact same second, and they were all
immaculate conception.
They were all conceived by mothers who were not pregnant that day. And
you get one Russian girl jump into a pool, and she and births in the pool.
Yes,
and she just wasn't pregnant on the jump in.
So all of the children are gifted have superpowers, and this professor managed to get some of the kids.
He got 7
put them together as a team.
8.
8.
I think it was 48. The wife was watching it, so she was filling me in on the details.
Yeah. It's great, and I mean, would recommend anyone at the time go watch it.
It was very entertaining.
A bloody great show. I mean, it is truly a good laugh.
Yeah, and I love the apocalyptic setting as well.
The way one of them can time travel without. Again, spoilers are there, but watch it because I don't really want to spoil that because
you can't spoil that.
It's too good.
But we did also watch the first episode. We mentioned it in the Doom Patrol, which has the return of Brendan Fraser.
Fucking hell! Well, did it really have the return? I mean, he was actually in it for about half an hour tops, and then there was a robot with Brendan Fraser's voice
acting from the robot.
We couldn't tell if it was Brendan Fraser.
I turned to Ian halfway through the episode, and I was just like, "Do you reckon it's Brendan Fraser in the armor or not?"
You can phone it in.
Exactly.
The effects, though, it's like we watched
the episode did make me laugh. And Brendan Fraser made me laugh enough and made me miss it.
There was some massively huge adult tones in it. Like, you couldn't watch it with your kids there.
No. There's nudity, there's sex, there's swearing, there's blood
and guts and shit. But I'm looking at these characters, and it was what? We had Brendan Fraser's brain in a robot body.
Yeah.
Which was just a guy in a suit.
Really clunky, but very strong.
Yeah, it was. He looked like Frankenstein was wearing an outfit, basically. Not CGI or anything. You had a girl who had multiple fucking personalities.
She had like 40 odd personalities, and each one has a superpower.
She'd known Timothy Dalton, who was their Professor Xavier like father, right? Timothy Dalton's running this house. She'd known him for years, but never knew that he had a robot living in.
This is the DC universe as well,
right?
I know. I'm aware of Doom Patrol.
There was this.
The blob lady.
There was this actress lady from the 50s who, under complete stress, turns into a blob.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of.
And then there was a fucking guy who looked like he was the Invisible Man, but a weird electrical alien energy came out of his body. And this, it was an hour episode, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And it was all flashback, telling us what these people did, and then gives us Alan Tudyk at the end, missing half of his face, called Mr. Nobody, and he's like,
some bad effects.
Look what I can do, and the episode ended, and I was like, I don't want to watch that. I do not want to watch.
I think you'll find it's under the CBS umbrella. If you've watched a few of their shows, they make a lot of shows at a medium budget, shall we say?
Yeah, this
not terrible.
This
and you can say
not terrible, but
no.
They're not putting the polished Marvel are putting into the
Netflix. Not if you've just come off the back of Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
Umbrella Academy, or even Daredevil, or any of the Netflix shows that were Marvel.
You know, I mean, it felt like I was watching Ash vs. Evil Dead kind of adultness.
Yes.
You know, but in the DC universe, and I'm like, okay, I've got to understand who these characters are. So if I went back and looked at it and looked at the characters and studied them, maybe I'd understand the show a bit more. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe people out there are loving it.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
So, what else have you got on your list there, Gary? Oh, you've been watching The Walking Dead.
I still haven't watched
that. After,
of course, I'm
respect
on
you,
every
Gary.
episode.
You are the one man I know that still hangs out.
You know the zombie genre cannot burn me out.
Man, I'm going to binge watch them all, but, you know, they're all hitting these really good episodes at the moment. I mean,
the new series 9 of Walking Dead, post Rick Grimes' leaving of the show, has been very good, and I'm enjoying the fact, you know, it's weird when you take the lead character from a show out, and then you're left with is the ensemble. Now you have your standouts, and there's only 2 actors remaining from season 1 left in the show.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They are my 2 favourite characters of the show, but now that Rick's gone, there's more screen time to all these other characters. And so it feels more like an ensemble piece now. So, you know, the threat that anybody could die is there again. And I was surprised at some of the deaths that have occurred this season. I was like, oh, I didn't really expect them to do that. This, you know, sometimes you watch an episode and you're like, this character is all of a sudden getting a lot of screen time. It's because they're going to die this episode. And, you know, they pulled that same kind of thing again. And but I was still surprised by it.
Yeah, well, bringing in the Whisperers,
exactly. The Whisperers are some of the scariest villains, really, in the whole show. And the way that they're doing them in the show is fantastic. The way that the characters behave, talk to each other, the way the episode's filmed, the way it's edited, I'm still really, really enjoying it.
Nice.
And I know that there are at least 12 characters that are about to die in the show. Because I'm a fan of the comic books, and there is a big moment coming, which is known as the decapitated heads on pikes.
Oh, yeah, I remember reading that bit,
And that is where a good portion of the cast just gets removed. I'm like, well, now that this show's become an ensemble cast, and all these characters getting extra screen time, I'm like, oh, your heads are going on pikes.
You're all going to die,
So who's going to be left?
But are they bringing the Fear the Walking Dead back?
Yeah, Fear the Walking Dead's continuing. I haven't heard it being cancelled yet. So I'm pretty sure.
I mean, is it still on season 3?
Or they finished season 4, so season 5 should be coming out this year.
Oh,
it usually comes out in between.
Is it connecting up yet, or?
But a character from The Walking Dead is now leading Fear the Walking Dead. So
he hasn't gone back in time. It's actually he's caught up.
Well, the thing is, it's impossible, really, now for his character to come back to The Walking Dead, because The Walking Dead just did a massive time jump of several years. 6 years, I think, or more time jump. And in that time, nobody from Fear the Walking Dead turned up at the camp.
Yeah. So that's going to raise a lot of questions for Rick Grimes, but as we said, an apocalyptic period, is he going
travel is
is he going to take a long time?
So Rick left before the time jump?
Yes, he did.
I followed a little
so
bit.
He's not returned to them in all that time either.
So he's either stuck in the Europe still, which I think is where the story,
where the 3 movies are going to be set, at least.
Yeah, I've got to see why he rode off on his own. It looked kind of a stupid idea.
Well, I won't say why, but yeah, watching it, it's
they're probably living in an age of so much television. I have to admit, I just haven't kept up with Walking Dead, and I'm not a zombie-ophile as much as Gareth.
Neither have I. I mean, like I said, I'm waiting to binge watch it. I'm just watching far too much wrestling at the moment. Stephanie McMahon's just lost her memory, so she doesn't remember loving Test. And Triple H is champion, but I think he might lose the championship soon. So
I think he might hold on to that for the rest of the year. Yeah.
Well, I mean, Austin's on his way back, you know.
What happened to Ultimate Warrior?
He's working WCW at the moment.
I thought he was going to have the title last time I watched.
Just had our own little time jump there.
Yeah.
So, should we get into the news segment?
Yes, let's do news.
Well, unfortunately.
With the negative ones. I come back. Did you have any of these when I was away?
No, there wasn't any deaths.
There was no deaths, and then I come back and there's fucking damn. Man.
Yeah, and the first one on the list is actor Bruno Ganz has passed away at the age of 77. I've only ever seen 2 of his films.
Yeah.
The first one I saw was Wings of Desire, which came out in 1987, and Downfall in 2004.
Is he the 999 man? 999.
Yes, the guy who played Hitler in Downfall.
Yeah. Shit, I still haven't seen Downfall yet either.
Oh wow! I mean, it's one of those freakish and scariest portrayals of Hitler in film.
And his portrayal of was just.
Wings of Desire. He plays an angel who comes down and basically just observes what's going on, and it's. I kind of with Supernatural, I think they borrowed the Castiel sort of character, ever so slightly from Wings of Desire. I don't know. I mean, it also had the actor who played Columbo in Wings of Desire.
What, Columbo?
Well,
no. Is it, no, it's
don't know the actor's
Peter
name.
Something. But,
But the 2 of them are the main stars of Wings of Desire. Yeah, that's his real name.
Yeah, it's Columbo.
Yeah, Columbo in the show Columbo. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
But yes. sadly.
Yeah, always going to be remembered for Downfall, and I will watch it. 'Cause I just want to see.
Well, the internet will warm in with that meme for all time.
Yeah.
Yes, forever. And also, British actor Albert Finney has passed away at the age of 82.
That was a big one. From Looker. That film was amazing.
I'll always remember him as Daddy Warbucks from the 1980s version of Annie. Yeah, he was in Big Fish.
That was
Aaron
amazing.
Brockovich.
He was in this, Skyfall as well. He was the butler.
Right.
For James Bond, which wasn't a really good one. But Albert Finney's always been just amazing. I remember seeing him when I was younger in a TV film. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. It was called Lazarus.
Doesn't ring
where
a bell.
I've heard of it.
It was the second part of this other show that had been on that I'd missed, but it was Albert Finney's. Albert Finney was playing this guy, and it was his decapitated head held in cryo storage in the future, and they were looking through his memories for some kind of information. So you would then obviously flash back to Albert Finney when he was younger, dealing with all this shit. That was some fucked up shit. Not as fucked up as Looker. Looker was probably Albert Finney's greatest fucking performance.
Yeah, he sounds a career.
A gun that can blind you. That was awesome.
So next in the news is The Haunting of Bly Manor. Is to be season 2 of The Haunting of Hill House. So basically what they're doing is turning that show, because it was very popular, it came out last year, 2018 on Netflix, and they're going to turn it into an anthology show. Where every season is going to be a different family in a different haunted house.
So like American Horror Story.
Yeah. Absolutely, yes. So it's going to be coming out in 2020. The Haunting of Bly Manor is going to be based this time around on Henry James's novel, The Turn of the Screw. Mike Flanagan, who directed all of the first season, is returning to the show after he's just completed filming Dr. Sleep, which is the sequel to The Shining with Ewan McGregor.
The Shining you wrote there, but yeah,
Danny Torrance.
The Shining. I didn't really get the whole Dr. Sleep stuff in The Shining, because obviously I watched the film and didn't really read the book. But Dr. Sleep's like. Is that Danny's fucking alter ego or the evil thing that tries to fucking hurt him in the hotel?
I've not read the book either.
I've read The Shining years ago, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dr. Sleep's like an integral part of The Shining book, and he has this thing with Danny and The Shining. But
isn't Dr. Sleep the name of the sequel book as well, though?
I think it's the name of the sequel.
I think so.
It ties back to the entity. It all ties back to the entity.
Yeah, the Dr. Sleep is basically fucking the guy, the demon thing from The Stand, and there's the man in black from.
Yeah.
But then again, it might be covered in that TV show that I can't. We're watching Castle Rock.
Castle Rock. I still haven't progressed past the first episode of the first season.
But I mean, another haunting. If it was, I haven't seen Haunting of Hill House, but if it's as scary as you guys say it was,
It had some of the most imaginative ghosts I've seen in a TV show in a long, long time.
Better than the real Ghostbusters.
No.
That's not worth watching then. Better watch real Ghostbusters instead.
Yeah, I mean, that's so much better.
Yeah.
Because that has the nostalgia too.
Yeah.
And it's the real Ghostbusters.
Love it.
Next in the news, Ian, you might be interested in this one.
Oh, yeah.
That there is to be a Hulk Hogan biopic, which is in production with Chris Hemsworth playing the role.
Why are they making a biography of Hulk Hogan?
The story of Terry Jean Bollea? Is that how you say his name? That is Hulk Hogan's real name. Bollea. Hulk Hogan will actually be co-producing the film, so everyone's suspecting that it's more likely to focus on the rise of the Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania rather than all of the scandals and
I mean,
I hope he faces to it and tells his side of it. I mean, you've got to kind of...
He's going to have some great road stories. Hulk Hogan is going to have some great road stories of when he was a superstar in the 80s. I mean, come on, people. Wrestlers lived like fucking rock stars back in the day.
Yeah.
They wrestled all night. They partied like fuck. They took drugs. Back in the day, people were like, here, take this. What is it? Steroids. It's good for you. okay.
Yeah,
Boom, boom, boom.
You can tell it was good for some of them. Half of them are dead.
At that point, their knees and back were all really, really good. So they were just popping pills because it gave them the buzz to get through that really shitty show that they were doing down in some fucking backwater fucking no-neck fucking establishment.
You're downplaying it. A lot of them love those shows.
Yeah. A lot of them had the territories, didn't they? Hulk Hogan wasn't a territory boy. He became WWE's fucking star.
That's after Vince McMahon's rebranding of the show.
Yeah, once he bought up all the territories. Now, like I said, that's where hopefully we'll know some of the really good travel stories. You know, maybe we'll see Chris Hemsworth driving from show to show, try to build himself up to be Hulk Hogan.
The interesting thing is, obviously, if he's going to be playing Hulk Hogan, they're going to have to cast all the other colourful characters.
They are going to have to bring in Macho Man. They're going to have to bring in Andre. They're going to have to
be
bring
a Vince McMahon actor.
Vince McMahon as well. You know, unless, like we said, Hulk Hogan has so much say in it that people are like, no, we don't want anything to do with it. And you have to have somebody else, you know, not Vince McMahon, but it's a shadow character.
Well, McMahon's distanced himself from Hogan because McMahon's always played...
he hasn't.
No.
He brought him back in.
But they brought him back.
Yeah, they bring him back in.
They've
recently brought back in.
Once the court cases have dropped, they'll just bring him back in. And whenever he's willing,
is he back in the Hall of Fame again?
Yes, he's back in the Hall
Hulk
of
Hogan,
Fame.
He received millions and millions of dollars after the scandal of his sex tape being leaked. He sued the hell out of certain websites and companies which disappeared.
It was a sex tape. It was the tape where he got caught saying something racist.
I believe so. But that's the funny thing. We're looking at something like that, which is taking place in the late 2000s, which is like, it's a sex tape. Yay.
Yeah.
Now we go back to the 80s when there wasn't the internet or all this fucking media running around, and we see what kind of trouble.
The story we want to know.
Yeah, what kind of trouble we got into to get to that point. Who we pissed off? What bad shit? You know, okay, yeah, like we said, steroids are bad.
The thing is, because he's going to be co-producing the film, he might try and
water it down
and flavour him more as the good guy. But I'm sure the film will go to some of the dark.
But if it's going to be on Netflix, you know,
it looks like Netflix are going to be the ones picking it up.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of Netflix,
Netflix have just cancelled every Marvel TV show now. They finally,
it was expected.
I was
cancelled. You were hopeful. I was like, no, they're cancelling.
No, they were always going to cancel them. I think you were right when you said that.
Well, no, actually saying that, we didn't know they were going to cancel them. We had a feeling they might cancel them. We didn't know they were going to cancel them because somebody was going to buy them all up and go onto their own streaming service.
No, they're already owned by
Marvel. The shows that Netflix produced and made all still belong to Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix has said that they're the ones that chose to do it, whether that's the truth or not.
Yeah.
They will still always and forever have those shows that they made on Netflix. Mm-hmm. They won't be on Disney streaming anything.
No. Well, until Disney go, here's $2.5 million.
There's a 24 months call-off period where Marvel can't use the characters. Doesn't mean they can't get the actors back to play a new season.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, the shows themselves are actually made in-house by Marvel. Marvel Studios makes the shows on request by Netflix.
Yes.
So Marvel weren't expecting it. It's not a surprise if you think of it from a tactical position where Netflix went, Disney are making their own competitor. It doesn't make sense that we're going to help advertise for them by extension of having Marvel shows.
Disney also owns up to 70% of Hulu, which is another streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
Which is where at the moment a lot of the X-Men TV shows have been going out through Fox. So now they're expecting that to become the adult side of Disney's more TV shows departments. So if Punisher and Daredevil want to reappear, even if, say, we're going to get 2-year wait until we get season 4 of Daredevil and season 3 of Punisher, they could appear recommissioned on that channel.
They could do that, actually, couldn't they? They could just turn around and say, we're just making season 4.
It is a long way.
Now, Marvel's Jeff Loeb did release a message to Marvel television fans. Cut some of it down a bit, but he basically said, we loved every minute of it and we did it all for you, the fans, who cheered for us around the world and made all the hard work worth it. So thank you. On behalf of everyone at Marvel Television, we couldn't be more proud or more grateful to our audience. Our network partner may have decided they no longer want to continue telling the tales of these great characters, but you know Marvel better than that. As Matthew Murdock's dad once said, the measure of a man is not how he gets knocked to the mat, it's how he gets back up.
That wasn't fucking Matt Murdock, that was fucking Sylvester Stallone in Rocky.
Well, it's the same thing.
Marvel take it, and Marvel make it theirs.
Murdoch's dad was a boxer, so they...
Yeah.
So they are hinting strongly whether or not the Marvel lawyers are going to find a way, because Marvel's got a lawyer team, the depth and breadth of the oceans of the world if they need to be. So who knows? It might come back sooner than 24 months, but at least in 2 years, I reckon. I wouldn't be surprised in the next 18 months if they don't go into pre-production on it and then have it ready to launch as soon as they can possibly do it.
Yeah, maybe they'll do a better version of Defenders than Netflix.
Well, Defenders will get... that is a thing me and Gary were discussing. Yeah, Defenders was the weakest...
I didn't even finish Defenders, it was so awful.
Yeah, Defenders...
Oh man, come on, how can you have a good series with Iron Fist?
Oh, I think season 2 of Iron Fist is apparently very good.
Iron Fist is a fucking...
I didn't finish Iron Fist
Iron Fist is a B-series fucking superhero.
But I did say this to Gary, the Defenders should have been a long-form show and there should have been more development. And I think people like Danny Rand and maybe a lot of the other characters could have shared an ensemble TV show at 13 episode length rather than
of those superheroes other than Daredevil or Punisher. I couldn't even be after the first season of Punisher. I didn't even want to watch the second season.
When you've got an invincible,
David Tennant was awesome.
Yeah, when you got an invincible badass fucking woman like Jessica Jones walking around, it's like, well, why can't you just do She-Hulk? You know, and when you've got people like...
There's a lot of answers to that. Doom Patrol tells you what happens when they put you in a rubber suit.
Do you reckon Universal still owns Hulk?
Or it does.
Actually,
I don't know about She-Hulk.
I'm pretty sure Pornhub owns She-Hulk.
Oh dear.
Next.
Next bit of news is Red Sonja. That remake was in development, but now is indefinitely on hold.
Oh, what? No.
Bryan Singer was officially attached to direct the film, but because of the issues and controversies after recently being fired from Bohemian Rhapsody.
Why was he fired from Bohemian Rhapsody?
And there's all sorts of things going on behind the
I
scenes.
can't recall.
Don't tell me he went to the same party as James Gunn and fucking dressed up as a Nazi.
I think he went to the same party as Kevin Spacey. I don't know.
Kevin Spacey, Harvey Weinstein, half of the New York cheerleaders. Yeah, I remember that party.
And so right now the studio have gone. They've not fired Bryan Singer off the project. They've just shelved the entire project for now.
Who was playing Red Sonja?
Don't know yet.
It hadn't been cast. They only had Singer's name twice.
So they weren't even in filming.
They weren't even filming.
But
The script was ready. They were getting ready to go and do it, and then waiting for Bryan Singer to finish whatever was going on.
Can you imagine that being just about to sit down and you're just like, oh man, he went to the party with fucking Kevin Spacey. Oh, we can't use that guy. Fuck that guy.
I think Kevin Spacey just was not at any party. I think
man, it's been a while.
Kevin Spacey was just roaming as Kevin Spacey.
I was going to say it's been a while since I dropped a Kevin Spacey joke, so
that's cool. That's cool. Spacey needs to chat now then.
Spacey.
Okay, next bit on the film news is everyone's reaction to the Will Smith appearance as the Blue Genie.
Right. Okay, I'm just going to say now.
Guy Ritchie, the guy who made Lock, Stock.
Yeah.
No. King Arthur was a masterpiece of terrible.
What the hell? Masterpiece of terrible.
What, is that the Keira Knightley one?
No, it's new.
Yeah, well, no, it was that one.
No, there's a newer one.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one he directed last.
Yeah.
You guys have clearly missed that one.
I remember the trailer
Not
for it.
Not to make the patrons make you review that one. Somebody might want to punch you in the gut for that.
Man, I this is how out of touch I am with fucking normal reality. As soon as it came up on my Facebook feed of a blue Will Smith, I was like, no!
Well, I just fucking
started skimming.
Let's say it's the Heath Ledger issue. Oh, I want to play the Joker. Well, there's that guy standing behind you for all time. You've got a bit of a problem. You walk into the Genie, it's automatically a Robin Williams comparison.
Why did they make him blue?
Because he was blue in the bloody animation.
Doesn't mean he has to be blue in this one. They could have just made him fucking 70 feet tall.
No, but it would have been fine if they could have magically reincarnated Robin Williams. Actually, it would have been more than fine because I would have been very happy.
Well, what they could have done is just CGI'd the Genie and just taken the audio from the original.
Yeah. And done the rest live action.
Well, yeah.
That means they would have been very limited in what they would have been able to use.
He had some extra. No, there was a famously lot.
But he ad-libbed and went off on.
There was about another half an hour of ad-lib, I believe they all said for that show. If you want to get the Blu-ray or DVD
if they ever wanted to.
But alas, they've gone for an odd-looking man who's bright blue. It's like something out of Charlie.
But the thing is, I looked at it and I was just like, it looks bad. It looks uncanny. The lip sync seemed off on it. I was like, is it CGI? Have they completely CGI'd it?
Bar Maleficent,
I think
none of the other Disney live actions have been that great. Beauty and the Beast was a bit.
I enjoyed the Jungle Book ones.
Jungle Book was okay. I haven't seen Jungle Book.
I enjoyed both the Jungle Book films.
Yeah,
actually.
well, I mean, we are saying it. It's mainly for the kids, though, aren't we?
Well,
so,
these are all for the kids. I mean,
a blue fucking
we're a
Will.
bunch of big kids, but
I mean, a blue Will Smith is not scary at all. For a bunch of little kids. So you're happy there. I mean,
it just looks goddamn strange.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, selling it to 4-year-old men like yourselves.
I can take Thanos, but I just can't take a blue Will Smith. I just can't take it.
It looks like he was meant to be in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he ate the wrong candy. It's time to put him in.
I thought he looked like one of those fucking things from Avatar. I thought the poster was for Avatar.
Yeah,
but bet you it's better than fucking Will Smith's Aladdin fucking shit. And he spelled Aladdin wrong. So next.
Some Walking Dead news.
Wait, I thought we did the news section.
No.
No, we're still there, are we?
No,
okay.
We was recapping on the Walking Dead earlier, but now if there's some Walking Dead news, and cover your ears for the next 2 minutes if you don't want to, because it's going to be a spoiler with the news that's coming.
Spoiler!
And that is that Michonne has just quit the show.
Her head is on a stick.
No. Well, the spoiler is that she's leaving season 10, which is the next season, and that she's only going to be, like Rick was in the first half of season 9, then out. She's going to be in the first half of series 10, then out.
Oh, right.
Rumour does suggest that she may appear in the Rick Grimes movies. So there's a suggestion that she may just leave the show. But the actress has said that she's in Black Panther. She's back for Black Panther 2.
Avengers 2.
Infinity, Endgame. She's also a successful screenplay writer. Or playwright, rather. So she wants to carry on with...
She's got other projects outside The Walking Dead.
And by the time she gets to me, she's been doing it for 9 years by season 10. So.
Saying that, actually, I saw the trailer for the new Twilight Zone, and I saw Glenn was in that. And I was just like, oh, now you've got my interest.
Yeah.
Because he's always been a
very good actor,
The actor was always been really, really good. And Twilight Zone had me going, but then seeing a lot of famous faces, like the dad from Krampus, he was in that as well.
Very good.
And I was just like, ooh. So, Walking Dead ain't gonna die. It'll shamble on, I suppose.
Well, speaking of not shambling on anywhere...
what the fuck? I'm just gonna make this noise for the next 2 minutes while Gary talks.
World War Z 2 has been shut down.
Oh, wait, what? Where's the pie poppers?
Paramount Studios apparently has no faith in the David Fincher Brad Pitt zombie sequel. All the crew that were hired to work on the film have been told by Paramount to go and find other work.
Holy fuck balls.
I'm like, how do you turn down David Fincher and Brad Pitt? Like, no faith.
That's a big one.
Right, because I totally got it. Because they started the screenplay,
They
right?
were in the middle of getting ready to build the set in Atlanta.
Yeah, they're sat in the room, right? They've got the executives there. They drop the script, and they're just like, right, okay, tell us how the story opens on Brad. He's in the middle of the desert. He's holding a box. Wait, David, no, he opens the box. The audience are like, what's in the box? What's in the box? And it turns out to be his decapitated wife's head. And that's how the zombie apocalypse all starts over again. And the executives were just like, get out. Come on, World War Z 2, fuck off.
Well, apparently Brad Pitt's so sold on the idea. He's the one who got Fincher involved.
Yeah, and I would be very surprised if Brad Pitt read the book.
I think David Fincher is very smart, and from what I've gathered, they wanted to do and be more like the book, whilst trying to incorporate what they had done in the first film. And I think there was some issues with the script. It was like, we want to retcon the first film. We want to kind of just make World War Z 1 again.
Yeah. Basically.
But the studios are just like, you don't know what you want to do. No. The fans don't know what you're doing.
The first one was so good. Look at our DVD sales.
It was incredibly successful.
I know, I fucking bought one.
Yeah.
Good.
I know.
Good.
Makes the wife
Buy
happy.
all the zombies.
Fucking World War Z 2. Right. Oh.
So, James Gunn, back in the news, Ian.
Yeah.
He's now in talks to direct Suicide Squad 2 after he has... he's just completed the script for Suicide Squad 2 now. It looks like they're asking him to direct it as well.
And side note,
Can make him the second Marvel director to move over to DC.
Yeah, let's hope he's more successful than the last one.
Right.
But his script,
who was the last one?
Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah.
But don't forget, they've confirmed now his script is still being used for the next Guardians of the Galaxy.
It is, yeah. So there'll still be some flavour of his zany writing in there as well.
So yeah,
and it will still feel like it's part of the trilogy.
No, it won't.
It all comes down to the direction.
No, I have a pretty strong
Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will be the worst of all three of them. Just cause
Probably, yes.
Well, generally, it's hard to get a trilogy to work anyway, if we're honest.
Army of Darkness.
Yeah, well, the first two films of that trilogy aren't
Don't
really...
even start that. Don't even go there, man. I just ended your argument by saying that's one trilogy. That's one trilogy that works. But if you remove the director and then still use his script, but without his view,
I don't know. I think
it's gonna.
I think you'll find behind the scenes that the powers, the reason Disney did that was a mistake, and I think you'll find there's a famous story that Jeff Loeb made the decision, the head of Disney, because the man who should have made the decision, which is the head of Marvel,
on holiday at the time.
was on holiday, and that's
Stanley.
No, it's not. My brain's back. The head of Marvel Studios,
Bob Kane,
Bob Feige.
Yeah.
No. It's not Bob Feige, but Feige. Kevin Feige.
Right, okay, so
Feige made the decision. So long story short, they made a bad decision because he didn't have all the information in front of him. And
well, they protected themselves.
Yeah,
you saw all the news stuff.
Disney, Central Disney make no decisions that will hurt the brand. Yeah. It's a family-friendly brand.
And that's the thing. DC are like, oh no, we don't mind. Here's Suicide Squad 2. Because everybody loves Suicide Squad. I like Suicide Squad.
Kevin Feige knew. The rumours are Kevin Feige knew of this information. He'd hide him knowing all of this, and he would have gone, no, that's out of context, that's been apologised before publicly, he's not guilty of what you're accusing him, I'll protect him. But he couldn't do any of that because the decision had to be made then and there, and whether or not it was right or wrong, you can't have a CEO of a mega corporation that's the biggest media conglomerate globally have to change his mind.
At the same time though, we already said it earlier, if Vince McMahon can take back Hulk Hogan into WWE and reinstate him into Hall of Fame, Marvel and Disney can just take back James Gunn and get him to finish off Guardians of the Galaxy because it's suffering on set. But
they'll be doing it behind the scenes. He'll be there advising that movie being made
while he's making Suicide Squad 2. So Harley Quinn will turn up in fucking Guardians, and fucking Deadpool will turn up in fucking Suicide Squad.
If Ryan Reynolds had allowed on to set in that suit, he'll do anything.
And honestly, if he did that would break the fucking internet, and both films would make so much money. And James Gunn
DC Marvel crossover.
Yeah.
The game is spot the Deadpool and spot the Quinn, because you'll have Margot Robbie running around.
The thing is, I think Suicide Squad 2 has been delayed slightly because obviously Ben Affleck's now out as Batman. They've got a new Batman film out next year, 2020. When Suicide Squad 2 is also due to be out.
And it's planning to be more of a detective
along with the Margot Robbie standalone
along
with several Joker standalone movies.
Oh yeah, we can still got fucking.
Well, a lot of people are suggesting that they're going to do a multiverse mess at some point, and part of them are just having fun with all these characters and then just going to throw them all into something and just do something crazy.
Yeah, Emperor Joker.
Well, there's a lot of crazy stuff.
The last bit of news is back to Stephen King again, because of course you can't go any time at all without more Stephen King material being reused, remade.
No.
Not in my world.
Yeah, anything could be happening around the world. Gary's like, nope.
Stephen King's got another bit.
Hell of a King, baby.
Yeah.
The Stand is going to be coming to CBS All Access, and that probably means Netflix in the UK. And The Stand was at one point going to be a film, then it was going to be a series, then it was going to be a film again, then it went back and forth for decades, and now it is going to be a limited event series, which basically means to us it's a pilot season.
See how that works.
And if the ratings are good, it continues or it fails. Either way, Stephen King is of course hyped about it.
Right.
Stephen King likes being paid money.
He does indeed. Yeah. But he said there's a lot of talented people working on it. He thinks it'll easily get continued. Beyond.
Nice.
Right.
But I need to check whether Stephen King was super excited about the Mist TV show.
It's been a long time since I watched The Stand, but I mean,
Gary Sinise is all about what I remember.
But the main premise was not really done well in the original one, was it? I mean, it was everybody dies, there's apocalyptic death, and now the good guys have to fight the bad guys over the fate of the earth.
Yeah.
And we went through what, fucking
6 hours?
4 or 5. No, I think it's a 5 hour series.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. So it's like 4 hours of them getting together and then heading to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then there's a bomb, and that's it.
Yeah. Mm.
So as long as you expand better than that, you're going to do well. Because that literally was the last.
I mean, it's the same with any apocalypse thing. You've got to look at The Walking Dead and go, what are they really doing? If you want to strip it all back down, they go from A to B, and some of them die on the road.
No, but Walking Dead
what they're dying to doesn't matter because it's just a structural point. But that's if they could get the same structure to Walking Dead's magic.
The structure for Walking Dead TV series was season 1, you're all dead and infected. So, and we all went, whoa. With The Stand, it's all those people all got wiped out. You're the special crew. You all have to live. And people will start.
But again, you can explain. You can rank that a bit more
because it is biblical.
It's the backstory.
Because I didn't read the Stand book, and I've watched the miniseries a few times. And it felt biblical at the end.
Yeah,
for sure. And so the good evil thing.
But the 4 hours
one
were
of
there.
Them is chosen and tested.
Was to build up the backstories for the characters, so we understood why they were there. It pissed me off because I went through that whole opening sequence, loving fucking.
Don't fear the Reaper, blow us to cold.
No, the deaf guy. What's his face? Oh, that's gonna bug me because I can't remember his name. The deaf character, because he was really good. Yeah, he was the bad guy in Wayne's World. The guy gets the finger up the bum. Anyway, he was the kind of the savior in The Stand, and then he got killed off, and I had to follow the MOON.
That spells.
And I was just like, he's the fucking main character. Oh, because of the innocence. Oh, fuck off! It's a fucking demon down the fucking road.
You get that scene with King. He does it again in It. The children's innocence in the first book, even though there's a weird gangbang in the middle of the first book.
Dreamcatcher.
Yeah. But the children, to escape that world, they lose their innocence, and the King's a bit heavy-handed with it, and weird. But that's King. King has moments of doing weird and creepy shit because he's a great horror writer, but sometimes it wanders off the path of what's sensible.
Quite well.
But he talks about a lot of innocence being the weapon against evil.
They've got to keep it dark. The Stand did suffer when
King's work's known for its light and heart. Well,
the original TV production was kind of light, until.
Yes, I mean we live in the age now though of Game of Thrones and long form, darker, grittier TV shows. They're taking Daredevil.
What's Game of Thrones?
I don't know.
I don't watch it.
It's a small thing. It's a little known show. It'll be last. I think it's being wrapped up this year. Wasn't that popular?
Isn't it Lord of the Rings kind of like
Well, it's like a spin-off from
like medieval.
It's the prequel. Lord of the Rings.
Not as good. It doesn't look as good as Blackadder second.
No.
Blackadder 2.
Blackadder always. Set the bar too
high.
Or
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. I mean, if I had to choose between Game of Thrones and Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Well, a long form Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
We digressed, Jez. Yes. We digressed. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going to bring this first part of the podcast to an end. We'll be back talking about Star Trek in part 2.
Woo!
And welcome back to part 2 of the podcast, where we're going to be talking about Star Trek.
Love it.
Star Trek is a cult phenomenon and has been for decades. It is an American space opera created by Gene Roddenberry, which first aired in 1966.
Damn.
The franchise is also noted for its progressive civil rights stances. The original series, for instance, included one of television's first multiracial casts. Ian, when did you start to realise you were a fan of Star Trek?
Oh, you see, when I was younger, you had BBC Two. Well, all I had was BBC Two, and 6 o'clock on BBC Two.
Was your family back tuning the telly?
Mate, but my family had one of those fucking boxes on top of the TV, which you put money in so you could watch,
keep the TV going.
Keep the TV going. That's how fucking poor we were. Anyway, BBC Two, 6 o'clock in the evenings was sci-fi.
Yeah.
And I started with Buck Rogers in the 25th century. I then got into Battlestar Galactica.
Nice, yeah.
And then Star Trek comes along. They start showing the old episodes, the 1966 episodes of Kirk and Spock. And I'm like, this is amazing. And everybody had heard about Star Trek as well at that age. But I think at the same time, like you guys, grew up at a really unique time. Because we were kind of there for the rebirth
Yes, for the
next generation. We were the next generation.
And on top of that, you've got the age of the internet and the age of.
Well, that was going to come a little way. That was going to come a little later.
It connects you to identify as.
Well, I wasn't involved in the internet. All of a sudden, Next Generation comes back, and everybody starts getting into Star Trek, and I'm like, yeah, but. Didn't you guys know this is like a really old series? There's like an animated series of this shit. There's toys. There's comic. You know, when I was growing up, Star Trek was kind of frowned upon. You know, if you were into sci-fi stuff, you were a nerd. You were a bookworm. You were sat in your room. You didn't have any friends. So you had to get outside and you had to mingle and get into fights and have sex young and have kids by the age of 16 because you lived in this troubled area. In the ghetto. Where in Star Trek, I was being taught diplomacy. You know, I was being taught how to fight by Kirk.
The chops.
You know, I tried to do the chops, the Vulcan nerve pinch.
Yeah.
You know, I think we all did. Really, you know, did you never? I'm looking at Jez. Jez is like, no, I didn't.
I was in sports teams. I was a lot sportier as a kid than I was an adult.
Oh, right, okay. So
I was mostly in fist fights. I was the kid.
Yeah, you were the Scotty.
I mean, that's the thing I was about to say. I've got a terrible memory, probably from all the fighting, but I don't remember that well when I first got into Star Trek. I remember the first and second, the motion picture, and again, look, I remember the motion picture and like The Wrath of Khan. They stood out. I've seen the others in years in between interim, but I never remember going to the cinema to see them. I was born in 1983, so for me...
I was born in 1983, so in between Wrath of Khan and Search for Spock.
I was born the year of Wrath of Khan.
We saw it on TV repeats. So for me, it's like Terminator 2. I remember seeing, just as a side note, I saw that on Channel 4 for the first time. After 9 o'clock, after my parents had gone to bed.
These were all in the 90s. Yeah, they were in the 90s.
I was sneaking out after my parents had gone to bed and watching.
So you weren't watching Next Generation when it came out then?
No, I saw repeats of Next Gen.
See, I was there when it first showed on BBC Two.
I was as well, and I was with my dad. And my dad was a big fan, and I remember, you know, growing up, you only have the slight memories, don't you, of the earliest years. But I remember my dad watching the original series, discussing it, and sometimes putting it on and saying, look at the cool aliens and monsters. And I'd be bored. I'd be like, nah. You know, I just wasn't into it.
Well,
my dad was just like, you know, I'm a big fan of this, but they've remade Star Trek, and it's different. So I'm gonna give it a go. And I sat there and watched The Next Generation. I'm like, it's boring. It's boring. What? It's boring. I'm gonna go upstairs and put Battlestar Galactica back on. You know, that was, I enjoyed that.
Well,
but Star Trek was just there's all talking and hardly any laser beams.
And here's the funny thing,
you know. But that changed over time. My dad was like, I'm still actually enjoying this Star Trek. After a while, I was like, you know, it's not bad. I liked Data. He was a robot.
Yeah.
You know, and he was my kind of gateway into that. And then watching The Next Gen, becoming a fan of that, it was just like, okay, I'm a bit of a fan now. I know all these characters are. I know the ship. I'm excited. I then went and started watching the original series movies.
Yes.
And after discovering The Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, The Voyage Home... Then I went out, and then I was at an age that I was earning pocket money, and I went out and brought the entire original series of films VHS box set.
Nice.
And then I was realizing that Generations, First Contact were coming out in cinemas, and that was when I started going to the cinema to see every Star Trek film.
Yeah.
And then I went back and watched the original series. And I've now, to this date, seen every single episode of Star Trek except for Enterprise. Otherwise, I've seen everything.
You purposely avoided Enterprise?
Yeah, Enterprise was so awful during the first season that after I think I managed 8 or 9 episodes before I missed an episode, and then I went, I don't care. Oh,
yeah.
That's the first TV series ever that I'd stopped watching before completion. Every other series up to that point, I'd usually start and finish one. That was the first series of anything that I ever stopped watching.
See, it's like I said, when I was growing up, you know, Star Trek taught me diplomacy.
Diplomacy,
you know? Yeah. With The Next Generation, you had the intermingling of Worf, you know, with Riker, you know, you had the whole grown up. I kind of wanted to be Wesley Crusher, you know, in charge of a shuttlecraft, being able to sit on the bridge, you know, fucking doing the shield, you know, taking the ship into battle. You're doing all that cool shit, but then...
Poor Will Wheaton.
Yeah. Well, Will Wheaton's he's a fucking god. You know, he walks in there, it's like, it's Will Wheaton. But Deep Space Nine comes along, and this is where I started to fall out of love of the TV version of Star Trek. Now, the films I'd watched over and over again up to this point. You know, Voyage Home for me was really, really close because I loved the whole going back in time.
Well, by the time Deep Space Nine came out, there hadn't then. I mean, Deep Space Nine came out the year before Generations finished, and Generations the film came out in 1994.
But Star Trek was beginning to suffer on TV. I felt, you know, Next Generation was in the films. You know, we were hoping for a new series of films like we had with the old series.
Yeah.
You know, we'd killed off, say, all of the old series. We would do when Generations comes out.
Okay.
But
it's set, how many, 70 years after
At
Kirk?
the beginning of the first episode, you've got a very old Dr. McCoy in the pilot,
Yes.
you remember. I think he's in his 90s, so I think it is about 50 or 70 years after the events of the original
Kirk's
TV
mission.
show.
But what I'm saying is, with Deep Space Nine,
Deep Space Nine was a proto-series. No, and it's...
You know, they were stuck on a space station.
Well,
It looked amazing, but
if you go back, season 1, 2, and 3 of Next Generation, it's arguably a bumpy ride.
Yes.
Most people consider it, and it's the same with all these Star Trek shows. I think they all have to find their footing in the era they're made. And I think this the same applies to the newer series and every series before them. I mean, most people, I will agree, the last couple of seasons of DS9 shone. It was great fun. I mean, if you can get to that, because like you said, you didn't love the first part of it. You didn't get to it. Gary didn't enjoy the first part of Archer's adventures in Enterprise. I got to like season 2 of that because again, when I got into Star Trek, I kind of had to backdate, and I mean, I'd always seen the back repeats and stuff. So for me, I kind of got in probably more into the DS9 was more when I went back and was watching all of this and then kind of compressing it all into kind of the Star Trek canon that I know. And I wouldn't say none of us are true blue die by the flag Trekkies, but I think we're nerds enough to know after.
Well, I've watched the films and the TV series enough that I'm like, well,
I
can put on a uniform, not the red one. Obviously, you don't put on the red one unless you're in command.
But I think it's a structure of the shows. We're all trying to find their footing, but admittedly, they still follow a pattern. It's either the parable or the monster of the week, which again, it's more. I mean, Enterprise moved less from the monster, more to the parable. Not Enterprise, sorry, Next Generation moved, and then all of them evolved. Kind of the problem was I think they got stuck following the plan that was laid out in Next Generation, the Parable or Monster of the Week, just rolled on for every season. It even happened in DS9, even though DS9 was trying to do more of a soap opera-y.
They tried to establish
the uniqueness
Cisco.
of Deep Space Nine was that it was in one location the whole time, but it was in... At the time of the show running and at the era of the world of Star Trek, it was in one of the most important parts of Federation space, which is where the front line of the war with
Alpha Delta Quadrant link.
That's
it
right.
Also then it was sitting, I think,
next to a wormhole,
and it was between Romulan and Federation. No, Cardassia.
Yes,
and Bajor were very close to this location, and then it also
it was interesting seeing different races that just went fuck you Federation, we don't want to be in part of your.
No, the Bajorans were reluctant to join the Federation, though they were clearly
interesting
more
explorations of space diplomacy.
I tried to get behind the whole integration of all these different relationships. When they brought Colmini onto DS9,
but he was always.
No, he wasn't there from the start. I believe he turned up in the first season after transferring from Next Generation.
Because Next Generation had just finished.
Yeah, and then
Worf who came later.
Worf would come.
Was there from the start.
Worf would come along as well, but trying to get behind their storylines.
I'm not digging around on YouTube. My wisdom.
That you're trying to establish all these different relationships of all these different characters going on. Then you've got all these different things going on, coming in week on week. There was no after effects. That it was something that you guys have always said about
Deep
Discovery.
Space, something you're saying there. Deep Space Nine did that more than any other Star Trek show.
Yes, even to this day.
Because Deep Space Nine had a few seasons which episode by episode affected what happened in one episode would have a knock-on effect in the other.
Yeah, it was the biggest for that.
To the point where at one point, for a whole season, they weren't on Deep Space Nine. Why? Because they lost the war and it was taken over by the enemy.
The Cardassians were occupying
but what season was that?
It was during the Dominion War.
It was the last couple of
seasons. Now, one of the reasons why, in retrospect, looking back at it, it was because those seasons were written and produced, and some of them directed by Ronald D. Moore, who, of course, was enjoying the fact that he could change Star Trek a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it wasn't just episodic. And of course, when he went on to Voyager, the studio kept saying, no episodic. And he was like, I've had enough of this. And he left Voyager and went off, eventually did Battlestar.
See, that's why I got behind Voyager. You know, when Voyager came out a year later, 2 years later after Deep Space Nine, I got behind that because it was the Star Trek I originally loved.
Yeah, it was a bridge crew.
With the integration of what Next Generation brought along.
Even though it was Marquis combined.
And it had a
massive
mission.
Yeah, it had it took us completely away from the Alpha Quadrant.
Get Home's a pretty
we're
good
going to see
Yes, it is.
completely new
The whole
aliens.
premise was much softer.
And the whole premise was very exciting.
And we are stuck on one location, a bit like Deep Space Nine, but Voyager was so much more sleeker and more enjoyable
star
to view.
bases that it could go to and refuel.
Exactly.
It had no way of,
that motherfucker could land.
Crew.
Yeah. It could
They've
land
only got so
on
many
a planet.
shuttles and so many torpedoes.
The limits should have been considered, but then again, it unravelled as the show went on, in my opinion, because they ended up going through giving up what we consider the BSG's greatest strength, which is telling a harrowing story of surviving a grave challenge and losing people along the way.
Man, they fucked the Borg up and took that technology.
The finale was fun.
Yes,
but
they did.
Yeah.
The finale was fun, but I would consider it the weakest finale of all the shows.
They turned the Borg into the most frightening adversary Star Trek had ever had, and they turned them into villain of the week.
When
Voyager destroyed the legacy of the Borg.
Yeah, I don't like what they did with the finale.
When they brought in that species 84712, I was like, that's a scary creature. We should have more of that. We should have more of this transwarp stuff.
Archer's had some cool stuff in their later seasons again, but it's the problem with a lot of stuff. Ironically, Voyager is my least favourite show because it doesn't get better.
It doesn't.
Other show, almost all the other shows have a pinnacle which can be drawn near the end of their run. As I said, DS9 finished on a high. They nailed that finale. They got the last two seasons.
Next Generation, I still think, has the best finale of the shows.
Yeah, Next Generation, definitely. I don't even think the original series actually ended.
No, the original series shouldn't be considered so much
cancelled,
so because it lived in an era of even more brutal television cuts. Which is like, we're done with this, fire it out of a cannon. It's done. But nowadays you get a bit more of a soft, kind of, they generally know the season they're on is the last, so you kind of can wrap up your storylines.
Yeah.
And that's why you look back at it, DS9 was great. I liked the Next Generation. I mean, the best thing about we live in an age of Game of Thrones, so you get these grand hours and hours of TV the way it interweaves a story. Star Trek,
because of streaming and binge watching
especially
which
nowadays.
People have learned.
Because you got to remember that's still a modern thing, really.
But Star Trek, I think, has something to teach in the sense they still try to do it in the newer series, where they try to do the short form, where they do a one-off story and make it tightly controlled. Yeah. And the three shorts that preceded, there's 3 shorts. No, 5 shorts, sorry. What did I say, 3 shorts? There's 5 shorts, isn't there, before Discovery?
Yes, 4 or 5. I think it's 4.
We'll go for it between,
I won't go through, but one with
shorts.
One with Harry Mudd and one with the future Discovery stuck somewhere in the future, and there's 4 with Tilly as the 4th. They're all great fun, and they do try to flesh out, and they're one shots which are kind of almost honouring the original show, because I can think back, and we were talking before, my favourite episode of, let's say, Next Generation where's the one where Picard gets this probe interacts with Picard, and he lives out the 40 years of life
on a planet. Yeah. That was it. It was
the 125th episode, and they did a bonanza. It was the Inner Light, the life of Kamin. He played a character called Kamin. And here's the thing: to honour the kind of long form, he learns the flute when Picard comes back and explains what happened. The probe's got this entire species history stored on this probe, because they couldn't survive the apocalypse that was hitting their planet, but to survive his interground universe, they made a probe, and it zaps the memories of this one scientist into Picard's mind, so he lives out 40 years of life. And when Picard finishes the episode, he's playing a flute that he learns from having lived that man's life. And for the rest of the series, that flute is either now and then picked up by Picard. I think.
I remember. I was watching an episode. Well, it's always on TV at the moment. So
there were subtle things like that reward long-time viewers, but it doesn't break anything if you're watching that.
You could miss 7 episodes and come back, and you wouldn't be, unless it's a 2-parter, which wasn't. That's common.
Because it still kind of befits Picard.
That's what made
the gentle
Picard more enjoyable than Kirk.
The first big Borg throwdown was obviously the Locutus Picard's assimilated at the end of one series, and then you have to wait till the beginning of the next series to see how they save him, and the universe, obviously.
Yeah.
So how's you guys' opinion on the motion picture?
The motion picture is my go-to-sleep movie.
No,
if I
that
ever
a
need
criticism, or
it's a 2001 Space Odyssey wannabe, but it's a masterpiece of 2001 Space Odyssey.
1979.
It's a criticism, but it's also what I use to go to sleep. Like, people say to me, like, "Oh, I can't sleep. I can't switch my brain off. Put Star Trek motion picture on." You know?
I don't know if that's
I'm suffering.
fair, but...
No, seriously.
Okay.
You're suffering from insomnia? Put Star Trek motion picture on. Why? Now, if you're a Trekkie, you've already seen it. And the first 45 minutes, maybe the first 50, not really a lot happens. It's
There's just very long, sweeping shots of the Enterprise.
And it's
Sweeping
beautiful
shots
art pieces.
and beautiful music, and it's really sensual. There's no.
It's
action
celebrating
in it.
maybe way too much the fact that after being cancelled, it's back.
Yeah,
Maybe, but I think you go back and watch it now and you can appreciate it from... As a kid, you'd be like, well, yes, it's a bit slow-paced, but
it's
as you grow...
massively slow.
And especially compared to what happens later, and people say Star Trek's been too much Star Warsified lately. Star Warsified, you haven't even seen... You have to go back to Star Trek, the first movie, and you'll see the least Star Warsified Star Trek.
Exactly. That
where
was
it's
going
a
to say that.
slow-paced... intelligent story that's dealing with deep philosophical arguments at times.
I mean, it came
and
out...
trying to be intelligent and slow about everything.
It came out
discussing.
the same year as Alien, you know, and Star Wars. Was Star Wars out? Yeah, the first one was out in '79, and I remember sitting down and watching motion picture and just being like, "This is just so quiet. I can just relax."
It is a
to
great
this
film,
movie."
no, but
and so you get into the film, and once you've established what you're going up against, it then just becomes another TV episode. You know, they
No.
they do because
The whole bit where they enter the ship and it's just surreal.
They sit there inside this thing, and what does Spock do? What does Spock do?
It is unlike
It's
the
like
original
it's
series in
nothing like
so many ways. It alienates you if you.
No, he communicates.
No, it's
he
jarring.
communicates with it.
The original
He
series...
flies inside it.
are different. Their behaviour is different.
And the original series...
Card unit.
The central relationship between the three leads
this is the interesting
not
thing.
there.
And this is interesting because the original series was Monster of the Week. This is where the Parable of the Week kicks in because it's dealing with a bigger question. Sometimes you got it in the original show where they'd ask complex societal questions, reference real life, because it's definitely, it deals with race and social justice and injustice and all the issues that can rise up through society, but it does it by not telling you the answer. It doesn't speak down to you. A lot of the clever best episodes of Star Trek don't treat you like an idiot. They go, well, there's no real yes or no answer to most questions in life. You have to make a judgment call yourself. But it still
and it's
hits you with a
interesting
big...
when the characters are also having to, because the Federation has its directives.
Yeah.
And sometimes the characters have conflicts with what they know is right and wrong in those decisions they have to make. Yeah, and Star Trek has been a great universe to explore those themes.
Yeah,
but after coming off the back of the motion picture, as
well,
great,
don't forget
as great as you guys make it sound, it's a great film to fall asleep to. Wrath of Khan.
The sequel.
One piece of information: the theme song to the original that motion picture is
the Next Generation.
It's almost
music,
been used for everything else in some form since. It's a great piece of music.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And it's absolutely beautiful. But when you get to Wrath of Khan,
I mean, it's an entirely different film to the motion picture.
But weirdly enough, it's still following on from motion picture.
Yes,
which is kind of nice because
it's canonical, but yes,
it's kind of nice where they're like that. Yeah, we did do that film, and this is going to be different. The action set pieces. The
idea of calling back a villain from an original episode.
Yeah.
Well, they chose the right one. Nobody can argue with that.
Correct.
I mean, I actually saw Wrath of Khan before seeing that episode.
Yeah.
And then went back and watched the episode, and I'm like, man, everything ended so nicely. And then watching Wrath of Khan again, and you're like, he's very angry this time.
From hell's heart, I stab it. Spits at me.
Where is...
And the bug, the creature that puts in her ears.
Yeah.
And I'd like to say the one thing about the first two films, the rest, I like the other films, but the first two films are the best of anything they make for the great big cinema.
No.
Well, just because they
I agree,
try to aspire to be something more than just pop entertainment.
The
first one is 2001 Space Odyssey wannabe.
It's a sci-fi movie.
It's a pure sci-fi.
It's not
an action film. The first film is a sci-fi film.
Yes, I will say that.
The second film is trying to be an action
it's
sci-fi film.
It's the aliens to Alien.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly. It's Alien and Aliens. They're the best two. Everything else,
everything else is still great.
Now that's the funniest thing,
they're
right?
degrading quality as they go on from there.
Before we go from this point, right now, I want us to think about an alternative future. We're in the world. We're talking about Star Trek. We can do this. We can jump to the future. Imagine if at the end of Wrath of Khan, they had just let Spock die, and Leonard Nimoy had actually put his hands up and went, "I'm actually not."
Well, no, he was the one who wanted to be written off. He was done with Star Trek.
Exactly.
He was done with the brand, franchise, all of it.
Yeah, exactly. And he was because coerced.
The motion picture didn't necessarily reignite the fandom, so he was kind of like, "Yeah, it's done." And then, of course, the Wrath of Khan came out, and it was amazing. And that was when Leonard Nimoy went, "Oh, I made a mistake."
But then the death of Spock is of itself, and I think we'll come to this again later when I talk about, because the newest series has this issue, I think, that utilization of an effective death with no conclusion at the end. I mean, the end of, ironically, Umbrella Academy, it's a similar sort of thing. The a tragic, almost dark ending to a kind of any media, a TV show or a movie is a brave thing to do. Kill off a character.
Wrath of Khan's ending is up there, kind of with
have the good guys
mist
lose.
Ending.
Oh, you know, you don't think about the Click, Infinity War.
When you see one of your much loved heroes die in front of you, but what makes it worse is you have that whole moment with Kirk.
The needs,
Shatner,
outweigh the needs.
You know, being emotional when he's looking at the camera and he's just like, he was the most human. You're like, oh my god, you know, it's really emotional. The torpedo flies off. Genesis planet is there.
Playing,
and then, like I said, before we get to Search for Spock, imagine a universe without
the Search for Spock.
Without Search for Spock.
You
know, imagine them going, right, we're going to just bring back the TV series,
the Voyager
but with
just
Shatner.
wouldn't have worked without him.
Spock, I mean, Kirk and Spock, as much as the rest of the cast are great, and Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. The Trinity of Star Trek, because it was the dry wit, the human, and Spock, the alien.
Alcoholic. One of them was totally doing a lot of drinking. I mean, it looks like Shatner,
turns.
I don't know, when you see Leonard Nimoy singing that Bilbo song,
he wasn't drinking.
He
was not drinking. He was
life
doing
is but
everything
a dream.
but drinking.
But I mean, I was watching it at such a great time that I could watch old episodes, and then I could watch. Is it Final Frontier that they're camping? Yeah, it's Final Frontier.
Yeah.
You know, I could watch that. We like I said, we were the next generation that we had access to it, that we could jump.
And the BBC,
back
as you say, BBC Two had repeats of all of this on for years.
Yeah,
well, I started buying I brought all of the films on a box set, and my dad was taping off every episode.
Yeah,
so that we were binge watching.
I think downstairs Star Trek in that massive pile of DVDs that we could, you guys will be used to the backing set for some of your videos. In the boxes we have off camera, there's even more. I'm pretty sure I've got all the movies on Blu-ray. DVD.
Everybody has. I mean, I bought them on Blu-ray and DVDs for different people's Christmases. But you get to, you've done Search for Spock. We're getting to Search for Spock, finding him. I mean, I think it was.
It's the first film to bring in the Klingons.
Shatner wrote Search for Spock.
Yeah.
Shatner wrote Search for Spock, and Nimoy wrote Voyage Home. And I think Nimoy...
I think you're talking about directing.
Directing, yeah. Shatner directed Search for Spock.
Yeah.
No.
I'm not sure for certain.
No, Shatner directed The Final Frontier.
Yes, I think Voyage Home with Spock. I think I think it was someone else who did. I think somebody else. I can't remember the director.
And what I was meaning to say was, we've just got off the back of Search for Spock, and it's just like, how are they going to keep him now alive? We've just killed Kirk's son.
The problem is
Christopher Lloyd. Christopher Lloyd plays such a great Klingon commander.
Yeah. I will just go back and say the problem with Search for Spock is, and it is the beginning of the slide for this, is it's the desperate need to put the status quo back into play. Comics suffer from this, which is the need where you go, heroes have got to do something heroic. We've killed off Jean Grey.
We've got to bring her back.
She's back again.
Yeah, we've got to...
Oh no, we've brought back an alternate time version of a younger version of herself. Actually, you've got to go, but we've resurrected the original one.
We're just resurrecting
So
now.
the problem is it's the need to restore a status quo, and I think you find that the issue with the later shows is the threat of anything happening. As you say, who's the main character in the show? Oh, well, they'll be okay then.
Yeah. Any guys on the red shirt that we don't know is probably going to die.
Keeping a viewership off foot is a really clever thing. If you're a comic book movies can get around it a little bit because they can kill someone off and then maybe not bring them back for a long period of time.
In terms of resurrections, in terms of stories, it's the one I give a pass to every time.
Because you couldn't make any more films without him. I agree, but I think the rest of the films.
I also love the way that it
you
is
think
done.
You think you could?
No, the memory pinch.
That's what I was going to say.
When coffin on the Genesis planet.
Yeah, when you see the whole backstory with McCoy, with Spock's brain in, and their whole relationship from the TV series.
I think
when you see Sulu, Sulu's going to get his new captaincy, but then he completely gives that all up to take over the ship. Seeing the death of the Enterprise, I mean,
the first destruction.
We'd never seen that, and then when they just put in the
then they just went through them like it was frisbee.
Amazing.
And then to have the voyage home where they're in a Klingon ship the entire time.
I love the voyage home. I'm glad we got that one.
Cool,
People always used to say that the odd numbered ones were the best ones. Or sorry, the even numbered ones were the best ones. Sorry, yes.
Voyage home. Written by Leonard Nimoy, so
directed.
Sorry, it's got this great, cool little story of Wales, and having to travel back in time. Love time travel in Star Trek. They are always fucking with that timeline.
Yeah.
It should be I reckon it's a rule in Starfleet, but somebody keeps going back in time.
Well, there's a famous.
There are time police, I believe.
There is a temporal temporal, I can't remember the exact name, but potentially there are temporal police. But the funny thing is, there's a famous fan theory, and I don't think it was ever confirmed by any of the showrunners or such, but the uniforms change so dramatically in such a short period of time. It means if you're temporal time travelling, you'll see a Starfleet officer and know exactly which decade you're in. Or it gives you a clue, because there's always been a theory. Why the hell did they change so much?
They were 2 and 3.
Because you've got to think about, especially in the newest season, they walk out in you've seen the new Discovery uniforms, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then you get Pike Sharp in the Enterprise, and he's dressed in a more, not quite the same time, technology in our times changed so we can make him look better, but Pike shows up in a yellow uniform because he's captain, 3 gold stripes on the wrist, although they had to CGI those in because they forgot to put them in the first episode. They put them in the later episodes, but he has 3 stripes, and just like Kirk and all the original TV show had, there are variations on them, but they're obviously very much the yellow, red, blue layout for all the command crew on the Enterprise, but they're a different design for all the ships prior to the Enterprise. But the Enterprise is a ship of the line, the current flagship of the fleet, so it's got a new dress code.
See, that's it. Coming in with the ranking as well at the end of Voyage Home, where it's just like Admiral Kirk. You saved the world. You went against all of our orders, but you saved Earth. So the most we can do is...
Oh, no, that's the next film, isn't it?
Well, the most we can do is make you captain, and here's a new ship, and they just give you a new Enterprise, and you're like, it's so good. But then you get to Final Frontier.
I like Final Frontier.
What do you like about Final Frontier?
I like the 3 of them on the mountainside.
Yeah, that's good.
Eating beans.
Yeah.
Singing Row Your Boat. I like William Shatner climbing the cliff face with Spock in the power boots.
Spock's got a brother, though.
He does, yeah, and he never mentioned it. And then, funny enough, he also had a sister.
He doesn't mention
that either.
Yeah, he doesn't mention.
And they brought his brother up in the TV show. Yes,
Cyborg. And I loved the idea of being that technologically advanced, and then going, let's see if there is a god in the universe at the center of the universe. Let's go there.
Yeah, I never understood why there was a massive barrier.
A Lovecraftian monster there waiting to find a vessel for it to launch itself into the cosmos.
Yeah, but it's like there's a great barrier. It's like, so nobody's gone past this great barrier? Oh, we fired probes into it, but nothing's ever come back.
Yeah.
It's like, they don't rely on probes.
The thing is, it was that William Shatner was... The studio was having less and less faith in the film.
Yeah.
They kept dropping the budget. Mm-hmm. At the end, there was supposed to be like giant rock golems coming out of the ground and stuff.
Uhura's dance though was well worth admission on that one. I
know that the Final Frontier has a lot of issues, but I still enjoy some of the moments from the film.
That's sci-fi. The important thing to point out is, and this is a caveat that a lot of modern people criticise new ones, they're still science fiction films to a base level. They're still trying to explore an idea that's scientific and have some integrity.
It had a lot of comedy moments in it as well, though.
It is the weakest.
Let's be honest. Along the ship going, I know this ship like the back of my hand.
Bonk.
It is one of the weakest films in the series, especially for the original cast's movies. The TSO movies, it is probably the weakest, because I think Undiscovered Country...
you say that, Undiscovered Country...
Well, after Voyage Home, a lot of the other cast got more screen time as well.
Yeah. Which is fun. I think that was nice. I liked those films because if you're going to do anything with these films, especially if it's not going to be TV, you've got to have character development, and it's easier to develop characters you haven't developed. I know Bones. Bones isn't really developed. Damn it, Jim. Bones is Bones.
But no, I mean, in the Final Frontier, you get that horrible moment
with his dad,
at the hospital and everything else. And
I didn't understand Cyborg's power in that. I mean, was he able to
heal your mind? He was basically teaching you, and I learned something watching that film, and it was about pain, and it was about how
let me feel your pain.
Yes, and basically the pain makes you who you are, part of who you are.
Life is pain. Life has always been pain. None of us have an easy road.
Then, like I said, I prefer Final Frontier over Undiscovered Country, because for me, when I got to Undiscovered Country, I'm like, I'm a Trekkie, I like Star Trek. Boom, we've just destroyed the Klingon homeworld. Or the Klingon mining moon, Kronos, and the Klingons going to be dead in the next few years, so we're going to make friends with the Federation. I'm like, you're going to take the coolest fucking species and humble them to the feet of the Federation, who most of us at that point were against anyway.
You've got a status quo.
They were getting staley.
The idea that it makes up the status quo, and I think maybe the Federation needs to kick to the nuts in one of the future stories that's going to upset a lot of Trekkies, but they've got to accept that one way or another. I reckon if they do a future story, you can see the Federation either taken over by an alien race that's powerful enough to take them over, or more shapeshifters, or maybe that species from Arch. I can't remember.
But McCoy,
there's another shapeshifter one that Archer
fights. Makes the jokes. I mean, actually, that Undiscovered Country actually has the first shapeshifter I ever saw. Even more, before I even saw Odo.
That's why I like Undiscovered Country, because they were trying things. I don't think they got it right. And again, like I said, Search for Spock I like, and the other three films...
Never thought about that before.
I think the first 4 films are solid, but the 5th and 6th film of the original 6 films
are wobbly. The worst one.
But
there's the worst one we're going to get.
Well, no. I'm just talking about the Kirk sagas. Kirk and Spock sagas. But like we said, they wobble, but they're trying to do different things, because they obviously want to make more films.
Yeah, they want to make more films, but
they're like you
said, we were all kind of getting tired of the fact that when you see the 3, or now the 5 and 6 of the crew members there, everybody else is expendable. These guys are just going to wobble back and forth on the bridge, and the Enterprise is going to save the day. They hadn't risked anything like they did with Wrath of Khan and the death of Spock.
Yeah,
they were trying to keep everything alive.
Wrath of Khan carried them for the next couple of films.
Next Generation is slowly starting to build itself up. So then they hit us with Generations, which I thought was
you got
brilliant.
DS9, and there's a gap. Obviously, DS9 even comes out in entirety.
But DS9 is not mentioned once in any of the films.
I know it's peculiar.
So let's not even mention.
You say that actually. No,
Deep Space Nine.
There is a reference.
Opening episode takes place during the mid-season 4.
No, Ian, there
of
Defiant.
The Next Generation.
Yeah, there you go. The Defiant when you're in. The Defiant does make an appearance.
The Defiant appears in First Contact.
Oh yeah. And what happens? Oh yeah, it gets damaged and Worf gets.
That's a tough little ship you got there.
The Defiant was built for taking out the Borg, and it fails every time.
Like I said, I'm not hating on DS9 because I'm a Star Trek fan.
It's fine for helping Cisco bio-attack weapon. I think he nukes a few Marquis bases.
But you said, Ian, you like Generations. Generations is awful.
It's a terrible film.
It is a terrible film.
Coming off the back of Final Frontier, bring it.
Oh, hell yeah. I'd watch Final Frontier over Generations.
I would watch the original films over that. It was a tough
original films over any of the Generation films.
No, actually, I argue the point that Generations was good because they did something different. Like I said, with Wrath of Khan, Spock died, and it shocked us all, and we hoped for something new, and look what we got. We got the next 4 movies, which weren't great. If they were amazing, you guys would be sitting here talking to me in your uniforms with all of your merchandise. we were going through transition, and when we got to Generations, we enjoyed Picard. We enjoyed the Next Generation crew, and we wanted a new set of films.
Because the series had ended.
Because the series had ended. Like we had this really cool set of films that we could go back to, and we wanted more. So they bring us Generations. Now, Generations just kills off Kirk, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's just time traveling and killing off Kirk. Guinan survives. But I like the emotion you get from Picard. You get more emotion from Picard than you got from anything from Kirk.
Well, that's probably because, we'll be honest, Patrick Stewart's a pretty damn fine actor.
Thank you very much. Jonathan Frakes as well. He wrote the script. He wrote the story, I believe, or at least directed it. I'm not entirely sure. Generations. Jonathan Frakes is pretty damn good, in my opinion, with certain sci-fi projects. I'd seen Generations in the cinema. It was the first Star Trek movie I got to see in the cinema as well, which... I think we've all seen the Red Letter Media videos where they go, look, this is the explosion from Undiscovered Country, and this is the explosion from Generations. Isn't it the same? Or what a cop out? And I'm like, it's a bird of prey blown up. I don't care. It's a Klingon bird of prey fighting a Galaxy-class starship, which it was no way in hell going to have any chance unless they hacked Geordie LaForge's visor and they worked out the shield frequency. And now they're starting to fuck up the Enterprise. And we lose this Enterprise that we'd had for...
if they've, hijacked...
6 seasons, 7 seasons?
It's not a great film, but...
I'll get to the worst one, and you guys will probably agree with me.
But Voyager...
First Contact.
Yeah.
First Contact film comes out, which I was looking forward to. And for me, it's the Wrath of Khan sequel for the Next Generation crew. We bring back a great villain.
Yeah.
The Borg. We have a bit of time travel. Love a bit of time travel. The Zephyr Cochrane stuff, bit much.
Well, they've
you created your own.
It's a silly
history.
Action movie.
Well, they always
First Contact.
Yeah, it's a fun film. But
and what's Voyage Home? Or
no, but it's more disposable than Wrath of Khan. It's definitely not the best in the series. Again, we go back to the original cruise films.
The first series.
No, the best films. I think you can debate between the first couple of films. I think it depends what you want.
Wrath of Khan.
Alien or Aliens.
Or motion picture.
Wrath of
Khan or motion picture.
It's motion picture.
But if I want
this is probably the best Next Generation film. It's got elements that it remembers to kind of pay homage to the TV show. You got to remember the film's biggest issue is none of them kind of remember the moral canon. At the core of all good Star Trek, there has to be a spark of a question, a morality. At the end of Wrath of Khan, even though it's a pretty heavy action film, you have the final point of Spock's death being my life versus everybody else's.
Yeah, it had meaning. Yeah.
So his death carries meaning and a lesson. And again, motion picture deals with the same sort of final blow. At the end of First Contact, he's screaming while murdering a woman, which yes, is an evil robot woman, but I'm just like, this is cool.
Yeah, she was an evil robot woman.
You've killed an evil robot woman.
It was a great.
And Zephyr Cochrane's talking to Vulcans.
She was a great villain. She was, for me, it goes up there with Christopher Lloyd's Klingon character from Search for Spock. Data. There was a point where I actually thought Data had turned. The whole emotion chip. The back history that we'd had with lore. I always wanted that to be more expanded with Data. I wanted to understand more about where he'd come from, his dad. We haven't got to that point.
Don't worry, there's a Data movie coming out.
We're going to get to that point. But we get Insurrection. Now, Insurrection, I do not like. It's the second worst Star Trek movie out there for me, because I'm getting the same stuff that I started to not like after Search for Spock. The Next Generation crew are turning up on screen. Nothing bad's going to happen to them. Everybody else is going to die.
They turn up on a planet of the that has the Fountain of Youth.
The planet's got Fountain of Youth. Everyone's looking younger. They're starting to just mess around. Hey, we're a young crew again. I'm like, just kill the alien. Where's the alien? Oh, it's over there again. Its skin stretched.
Yeah.
No, it's a forgettable film, but
it is. It's a
massively forgettable film. Yeah,
it is.
But they were making money and people, and they were still carrying on the coattails. I think Admiral Janeway shows up. Wait, she shows up the next one, doesn't she?
But the crazy thing is, we say that. The crazy thing is, Insurrection has the most probably moral story in it.
It does try to do a parable.
These people are being trying to be removed.
Monster of the week. Yeah,
these people are being removed from their planet. This is their home, just because these other people want it, and the Federation. It's it's like a war message, but nobody gets it because it's a crappy Star Trek movie.
It is bad. Like we said, it's the execution of the idea that goes wrong. So what I was saying about Voyager.
Work is a great
The idea,
episode.
the principle is a good idea, but they didn't execute it well. I think it's just
They didn't know.
And the next film falls into exactly the same scenario.
Is it
Nemesis?
There was a Blu-ray of this bouncing around, DVD bouncing around the house once. I never saw it at cinema, so I think I bought it on Blu-ray, DVD, and then regretted that.
It's the
almost.
worst
I think it's not
Star Trek
quite
movie.
as regrettable as the time I bought Dungeons and Dragons the movie, but it's close.
Oh, that's a terrible.
That
movie
is a
too.
terrible movie.
Fucking
The time when
Nemesis
Tommy Billy Dragons and porridge is memorable, but
I don't understand what the story is. I don't think I ever have.
They had clone
of Picard
that was raised in a
Reman, the moon that orbits
mining
Romulus
facility.
is Remus.
Yeah.
Right.
It's referencing mythology,
Right, yeah, and it's harkening back to an episode that we can't
Well, you
really
never met
remember.
the Remans. The Remans were
It was all invented.
they're a subspecies of Romulans who are a subspecies of Vulcans.
See,
but
I think that's what confused me, because they have this clone of Picard, and I'm like, what episode did that happen in?
It never happened.
And it never did.
he has gone undercover on Romulus before. There's a famous episode where you have him and Data
he was
dressed
captured
up.
by the Cardassians and tortured, I believe.
Well, in the one episode, he was Galen. This is where I got muddled up with the character, but he played a character called Galen for a while when he went undercover against the Romulans at one point. So Picard's interacts with them. I don't remember how they get his DNA.
Yeah.
But long story short, I think they must do it at some point during this show, because they interact with him many times, and they create a clone of him to use against the Federation, because apparently cloning someone means you get their entire life experience and tactical ability to overthrow everybody.
Not just that, because he doesn't come across that until he's found the other Data. Now,
the backup Data shows up.
Well, this is it. I watched every episode of The Next Generation.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen all the films up to this point.
Yeah.
I was following the lore and the games as much as I could, while trying to also still hide the fact I was a Star Trek fan.
And the internet didn't really exist back then, so you couldn't Google it.
Right, and it was really hard to come up to people and be like, hey, Data? Oh, yeah, we know Data.
I was collecting the weekly magazine that went into binders.
Oh, yeah, I had one of those for Star Wars and stuff.
There was only two
Don't know what happened to them.
droids, Data and Lore.
Yeah.
So where the fuck did this third one come up?
There were some other variants. Data had a daughter. You remember there was an episode where
Dr. Sung only ever made two, and Data was the perfect one.
There were others, but there was another one where Data had a daughter who was a droid, but I don't think if Sung I don't remember if Sung made it.
I know you're trying to defend it, but in the film, where did they get that droid
They did
from?
retcon it, or they found another one. Apparently,
They found another Data.
It was but it was so ham-fisted that you knew immediately what they were going to do.
The dune buggy driving.
That's big. No, do you know what that happened? No, do you know why that happened? Patrick Stewart likes
Dune buggies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly,
a lot of that film was just them dicking about for fun.
It was.
Yes. It was. Well, I mean,
the script, and then we've forgotten who Tom Hardy's finest role.
Oh dear.
Shinzon was a bit rubbish.
Was that Tom Hardy?
Yes,
Tom Hardy.
Fuck off.
Guys, patrons listening, that could be a review quest there, gentlemen.
A new thing every day.
Ask now for Tom Hardy's greatest hits.
Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Yeah, I dislike Nemesis as much as the Kelvin timeline movies.
Yes, we're about to get to those. Now, Star Trek had officially, I think, for me, died after Nemesis. Because, it was only really in my memories. There was no new TV series.
Well, I mean, after Nemesis, you had 3 more years of Enterprise, as that was the death rattle of Star Trek.
And they were, ironically, the latter part of Enterprise is where it started to recover itself. So I don't think the Star Trek fan base wasn't happy with Enterprise, because it did have a wobbly start. But the problem was they didn't give it the breathing space Next Generation got to kind of find its feet. Quite a few seasons. It took them 3 seasons. How many Enterprise have? Oh, they only had.
I think they dropped
5. So
for me, they dropped the ball, because I mean, I'm a big Quantum Leap fan. Scott Bakula as a captain of a fucking starship. I was like, I'm all behind it. It's set before Kirk. I was like, no,
I'm all right with that.
No,
you've already gone before Kirk with the best Next Generation film.
Yes,
you just
but the technology in it. I never got really into Enterprise.
You're in the same problem, which I think the catch-22 now is. We live in an age where anything I make now is going to suffer from we think this is the future science. Oh, actually, we were wrong. It's even better now.
Yeah.
In our current day and age. That's why Discovery's got holograms at one point. And the fan base got really angry.
Reference where one of the characters who's on Discovery or on Enterprise says, "Oh, I got rid of the holographic projectors off the Enterprise because I don't like them."
They've messed with the systems.
That's why there's no holographic projectors on the Enterprise.
Now that would be really cool. You know, when
that's their excuse
in Enterprise, you know, Scott Bakula's Archer, how many years before Kirk?
It was about
100,
yeah.
And they reckon
100
they're
years.
theorising that, I think it's about 100, but T'Pol might be still alive. So there's a lot of theories that if they're going to cameo anyone from that, it can only be T'Pol. It should be an ancient Vulcan that shows up.
Right now they can't because
the licensing issues.
There's the big thing with Star Trek right now is that there are 2 license holders. There's the license holder to Star Trek all the way up to Nemesis and the end of Enterprise, which encompasses everything up to that. Then there is a Star Trek license which owns Star Trek, Into Darkness, Beyond, and Discovery.
One of them's CBS, and the other one is Verizon.
Yeah, I believe it's CBS that owns all the majority.
But it's CBS that owns all of those.
And they are debating a merger.
It's Paramount who owns all of Star Trek.
But I think Paramount's partly owned by I can't have said it.
Now, there is a conflict of interest between them, and now what they're trying to say is that Discovery is set in the Prime timeline, and within Discovery, their characters even say when after a bit of traveling, they're in the Prime timeline.
Yeah,
and they're trying to trick the audience into believing that is the Star Trek we know and not the Kelvin films. But really, it's not. It's in the timeline where the Kelvin timelines exist as an alternate timeline.
Yeah.
But the original series is canon timeline.
But basically,
not
at this
Prime
point,
timeline.
The hint is they're not sure at the moment. There's a merger possibility.
Altered state.
Yeah, there's a possibility that there may be a merger at some point between the 2 right holder. So they've left it as grey as possible. And
the thing is, the Picard series that's coming is going to be in the Prime timeline because it's going to acknowledge the fact that Spock disappeared after the destruction of Romulus.
Right.
So
no, but that's correct. No, that basically they've never gone beyond that point in any canon. Yeah. So all the canons currently end at Spock's disappearance. We're at the beginning of the reboot films. Now, whether or not that affects any series that go after Next Generation in that timeline, nobody knows. This is why it's left as grey as possible because
otherwise they're going to end up rebooting the Next Generation within the Kelvin timeline.
Yeah, but the rumours are that the Kelvin timeline's a separate timeline.
We've travelled so much through the fucking series at the moment before we even get to the new Star Trek movies.
At this point, there may be
it's acceptable.
Well, at this point, if the right holders re-merge, which apparently might happen, then all of this will be simple. The Kelvin timeline was 3 movies that happened, then we gave up, and the rest of the universe, if they follow Spock's destruction, remember they destroy Romulus and Remus, so the Remus and the Romulus are kind of screwed with the supernova triggered by that film, and the Spock disappears.
In the Kelvin timeline, Vulcan is destroyed instead.
Yes, but nobody cares about the Kelvin timeline anymore because apparently we only liked one of the films because the only good reviews came out.
Let's
Star Trek. Let's go to 2009. We had Star
Trek. The remake
Trek.
Star Trek movie. I love. Because it just...
It's all right.
I'm always been a Star Trek fan. I want more Star Trek stuff.
Take the Wrath of Khan and watch it on fast forward.
Yeah.
That gives you Star Trek.
It's easy. It's the most disposable
glare.
It's
the fucking glare.
Yeah, well, that's thanks to the director. But it's an action movie first with very little high-end thinking. It's okay.
Into Darkness, I really like because I like Wrath of Khan. And I like Benedict Cumberbatch playing Khan. He wipes out a bunch of Klingons and takes out 2 flyers as well. It's like, this guy's badass.
No.
Peter Weller's in it as well.
It's
Peter
too obviously
Weller
a remake.
Badass.
I've already said my piece on Into Darkness, but it's the most offensive attempt.
It's a war crime against
Nemesis
Star Trek.
is the offensive.
It even makes Nemesis. Nemesis trying to do something original. There's no originality to Into Darkness.
It tried to rewrite 2 things into a film.
The third one. Okay.
Into Darkness is offensive. No. It is dreck. No. It is absolutely abysmal.
No.
It should die on a sword.
Beyond, though, the only thing I hate about Beyond is the alien.
Idris Elba's I was fine with that motorbike chase. It only pissed me off in the middle of it. If there had been a motorbike chase in the middle of it,
the motorbike chase and the use of music.
Music was
Beastie Boys. I'm not a big fan.
A little bit too much.
It was jarring, and I know they were trying to play the kind of idea that it's time. The ship's been there a while, and he liked music from a different era, but it was too jarring. The motorcycle sequence, it reminded me of the moon buggy sequence.
Yes.
And it was unnecessary, and I'm like, you could have done a different action scene with a bit more inventiveness than just having some guy who likes stuff.
But if you look at it, I mean, we got, was it 2009 for Star Trek, and then 2016 was Beyond. So that was 7 years.
But I will add the cast. I mean, I quite like the cast.
Yeah.
I just kind
Anthony
of wish...
Elton was awesome.
It wasn't a great... The first two weren't great films. They were.
Yeah, they were.
The first...
They were. Don't listen to them.
The first one did its job at bringing some hype back to a franchise that was almost a decade without.
Yeah, 2009... It did its job to make an action film that teenagers
we've rebooted Star Trek. Great. And guess what? We're out of ideas, so we're going to remake it.
Into
Darkness was terrible.
With your second movie.
Beyond,
it was just like, really?
Beyond was a film that had ideas. It tried to explore some science
Damage
theories.
was done. Damage was done with Into Darkness, which is why no one bothered to go and see Beyond. You were like, you screwed us with Into Darkness. So
and the reviews were solid. Yeah, you're right.
You say the damage was done, but the Star Trek fans were still there. If a new film dropped next year, we'd go and see it.
I'm not so sure. We live in an age where the media powers have hurt Star Wars because people are so angry about what's happened with Episode 8. Whether or not you like or dislike Episode 8,
they'll still go to
they'll
it.
make money, but they won't make the money they want. They'll lose 20% of their potential global take.
That's the beauty about Star Trek. Star Trek is the opposite to Star Wars.
Really?
Right?
Not anymore. The line's pretty blurred.
That's the problem. Star Trek 2009 took away the line. It wasn't a
You guys say that,
film.
and there you are sitting there watching Discovery. I haven't seen Discovery myself yet, but I will watch it, and you guys are loving it.
So it's because it's nothing like 2009 Star Trek. Yeah. Well, all right. First season was too much like it. Second season's going in the right direction. But they needed
to do that. And I'm looking at this list of films. You know,
well, they fired all the showrunners. It changed because of showrunners changing.
We needed the Nemesises and the undiscovered countries and the final frontier and the Into Darknesses, so that they could test the water every now and again and say, "You remember Star Trek?"
No, it's called putting.
And we go, "Yeah."
No. When you say testing, they hired a director and a writer, and you end up with some random stuff.
When they dropped Star Trek Online on the Xbox. You know, and we were playing online.
It's been on PC for
it's been out since. So it came out just around the time of.
You want to take command of a starship.
2009, I think.
You want a starship flying around
because it had.
there's been
it had Zachary Quinto. Zachary Quinto was voicing on it.
Animated shows.
Things fourth dimensionally Captain Kirk.
Look, the argument about how much money you can yield from a franchise is down to how successful the last couple of iterations have been.
Favorite moment
in which film?
Off the top of your head, if you could think of a Star Trek favorite moment right now.
Well, like I said it earlier. My favourite episode was probably Next Generation. The Lights in the Lights in the Dark
with the fleet.
Although like I said, the Borg episode. There's one episode in DS9 that I quite like, which was the one where you have an old Klingon go to his grave. I think Kor wasn't his name. Sorry.
Favorite moment, guy, off the top of your head?
Too many to mention.
Really?
There's so many amazing moments.
Can you just think of one?
Kor once since the breach.
Man, DS9
was good.
I could just totally list them off. I mean, a couple of days ago, I was watching Doomsday Machine from the original series. A giant worm that flies around. It's got the mouth and it just swallows planets.
Well, they're
just flying this Enterprise up into it.
They have lots of one shots.
Caught the episode of Next Generation where they've all got the day off, and Worf is having to take Alexander to the holodeck. And Alexander is running this Western.
Typical holodeck episode.
And
you've got like a black and white episode in Voyager, which is one of the redemption, the devil's robot.
Data gets interacted with the holodeck, and there's like multiple versions of him all fighting warp. Even though I didn't like DS9,
DS9 have some of the most unique and original one shots, but. Again, like I said, the early part of seasons I don't watch as much as the others.
I enjoyed Deep Space Nine from the moment Worf gets there and forwards.
See, he had a relationship with Jadzia, didn't he?
He did, yes, over time.
Yeah, I love the whole integration of like Quark and Odo and Kieran Reeves.
Well, you got to remember the best of both worlds was the Borg Locutus of Borg season double part was the best of both worlds. Part one,
that was
the beginning.
That was Next Generation.
That was a hell of a
start.
Yeah.
Because he kills Sisko's wife in that attack.
Does he?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why Sisko hates Picard.
Yeah.
Because when he was a Borg, he killed his wife.
See, it's the whole integration. Like there's a whole relationship with Odo and Kira.
You never had Patrick Stewart appear in that show. Because it was almost something...
Riker appeared in Deep Space Nine.
Yeah. No, but for long form. The nature of these shows is they don't...
The Enterprise occasionally docked there and flew off again.
Yeah, I think they had like somebody wave out the window. I remember there being in the Dominion War, you had the Enterprise fighting in the Dominion War. And you kind of see... I can't remember who's on the big screen on their own, suspiciously. Why is he only there? Normally I see the whole bridge with all the crew.
It was the Dominion that brought in the Jem'Hadar, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're clone armies. And they've got their... Awesome. The Founders have their... clones, the Wayans,
all clones of the same guy.
Yeah, and the females. I can't remember.
All of Voyager.
Voyager is just the most disappointing. And
I love the opening episode. The Marquis internal conflict.
I love the whole journey.
Underutilized.
Yeah, there was a conflict in the crew.
It never lives up to its potential, not once.
You know
when they had conflict in the crew, which again people moaned
about.
The
Year of Hell.
Them having that in the newest Discovery series.
That was an amazing year.
It was an amazing episode. Was it the Year of Hell? Was an episode.
Well, you could describe that as watching
Enterprise. I never watched Enterprise, but
at the beginning they're like, we've only got so many torpedoes and ships, and yet throughout the seasons you watch how many torpedoes and ships.
They're trading, Gary. They're trading with all these different people in the Delta Quadrant.
It doesn't look like
they have these massive star maps.
It really doesn't look like
Jerry Ryan stand there. She's like, we've been here, we've been there.
Do you never get that?
Yeah,
Neelix shows up.
Admiral Janeway. Admiral Janeway. She gets her crew home. She completes her mission.
Neelix, the whole show was dead the moment Neelix wasn't dead. I mean, we've killed Kess. No. Wait, couldn't you just kill Neelix and left me with 2 hotties? I would have been twice more encouraged.
I'd take Neelix over Odo any day.
What?
Seriously,
Odo had
I would rather
the
have
Ferengi had
him
a fleshed out
for me
species
than hold a bucket every time this guy can't hold his
the Ferengi as a
form.
whole were a species.
I'd rather
Talaxians.
Personally, my favourite ship has always been a Klingon bird of prey. 12 crew, cloak and device.
Well, that's why I said
and
my favourite.
Can enter low orbit
favourite DS9 episode is a Klingon-based Klingon bird of prey suicide mission.
See, I'd watch the last 2 seasons of DS9 if I could. Just with the Klingon stuff.
We'll get you one day. I'm sure there's a DVD.
I don't need the other 5 seasons.
On Netflix, so.
Explaining me the prophecy.
But the one thing we haven't got onto yet, I would like to say, is Discovery. And you're going to have to sit here and talk over you for a moment. But what's your opinion? Season 1.
Season 1 was. I have been desperate for an interesting sci-fi show.
Yeah.
And there's a void of those. Sci-fi spits out
sci-fi
shows, but they're of lackluster quality.
Fringe was good. I mean, Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe. I enjoy Fringe. Supernatural. I enjoy sci-fi shows that, if they're done right and if they've got some production value between them, they've got some interesting.
But there aren't many.
They do time travel, alternate dimensions.
Yeah.
If it's got some good actors with some good characters. Star Trek Discovery has that. But it also has lots of problems.
Season 1,
with the fact that it feels like it's 20% of it is not Star Trek. It is something else. All the rest of it is.
Yeah. I think you get the yelling.
Once you get past the issue of the fact that Discovery's never mentioned in any of the other Star Treks, and this ship is more powerful than any other ship the Federation's ever had. It's like their best kept secret.
Shit.
I have issues with the fact that, the Admiral all of a sudden just turns up out of nowhere sometimes.
Oh, was that Season 2? Yeah.
And sometimes I'm just like, well, is she supposed to be a hologram? Oh no, she's actually there. Interesting. Okay.
You sure you're not watching Orville?
I couldn't stand the Orville because it was too much of a retread. It was like, wow, this is just like the Next Generation.
The format's changed, as we said. Yeah, the format. We live in a long format age now where you can't do the one-shot episodes.
There's the problem that it has is Michael Burnham. I like the actress from The Walking Dead,
right?
But Star Trek shouldn't be about one person. She's not the captain of the ship. For starters,
the captain should be not the moral center.
The fact that the captain of the ship in season 2 is not the previous season's captain, is difficult, and it is different to normal Star Trek because they kill characters off. Characters say fuck and shit.
But that's why
it's like you don't swear in Star Trek.
That's why you're compelled to keep watching it, because it not is slightly what different. We've got the rest of the
but it's the other thing.
I am warming to the background characters in season 2 even more. So I liked some of them in the first season, more so in the second season because they're getting more screen time. Michael Burnham character still annoys me because I don't. When she starts narrating, and it's like she's narrating and doing her logs, her personal logs. I'm like, I'm so used to the captain's log.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about yours, Michael.
Yeah, she's not even the first officer, which is kind of like, that's Saru. And so you kind of end up in this scenario where you're like, and the problem is now Pike's shown up. I liked the first captain. We got to go first captain.
Yeah.
Lorca, played by Jason Isaacs. Isaac's amazing. The twist is fairly well delivered, although I feel like the whole first season didn't quite know where it was going, suddenly took a left turn, some new writing ideas came in and they just went with it. So the whole first season is just a bit of a smattering. And the opening, beautiful use of ships, the cinematography is great. It is a bit of 2009 where you know that the people making it, the same guys who made the movies, the last 3 movies, so there's definitely the same cinematography and CGI teams here going, well, let's blow everything up, explosions!
I noticed that from the action sequences. And I was just like,
but they put ships at different angles, so some of the cinematography is beautiful, and when you don't need it, when things aren't exploding, you can take in what they're doing. It's quite good, but the first couple of episodes of season 1 were heavy on the action, and problematic, and
it wasn't until like 4 episodes in where the series started.
Yeah, and that, I mean, you have always had introduction episodes.
Yes.
Every season that's followed on, like McCoy showing up at the beginning with Next Generation. They introduce the universe, then the crew, but they normally do it quicker. So I just think they dragged their feet on this, and Burnham's a prisoner, then suddenly she's not a prisoner, and all of this is good. I said this before. I think it's
about 3 hours. Then she ends up on the
it's
Discovery.
Super crammed storyline and character development, and I feel like this happens in the newest season. Even though I like the second season a lot more than the first, because I think it's a more streamlined narrative. There's points where they're basically looking for Spock. It's the search for Spock Mark II.
Right,
Where's my brother? Oh, he's got to stop some 5.
You guys aren't selling this to me. I'm telling you right now. I'm listening, but I'm like, I don't want to watch Discovery now. These guys are not making it sound entertaining.
I'm fully enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it
in every episode.
That's the weird thing. You're telling me it's really good, and then you're saying, "Oh, I hate
well, no,
the main
you're
character.
picking it because you're to be fair. I think the internet hates on it unfairly because they're like, it's not Star Trek. I'm like, nothing Star Trek because it changes every generation. It has to find its feet. I think this is going to be a more actiony, a better CGI. The technology's going to be a bit weird when you compare it to the original show. But you know what? The sets are made out of cardboard with little flashing lights. Why are the panels not 3 colours? Red, green, blue diodes flashing at me.
I've already gone through Enterprise, so... I already went through the era of Enterprise, and so I'm ready and willing on accepting a new Star Trek into my life.
They've done well enough that making this technology look like it's a step from Enterprise towards not Next Generation, but it's somewhere in the no man's land. So it can they haven't shown the inside of the Enterprise yet, but the problem is they're going to have
who owns the rights to that?
Doesn't matter.
Paramount.
They can redesign it.
If they were to emulate the Enterprise crew, they'd have to
like
make it at least 15% different.
Yeah.
But what I remember
like
an episode of Deep Space Nine when they went on to the original Enterprise and they superimposed them into the original episode.
That's a great episode. I did like that episode.
Gypsy Dax.
And they comment about the uniforms and the terminals.
And she makes the famous line, I lived in this time.
Yes.
And because obviously the symbiote's an ancient symbiote and it lived through that era.
And the Klingons with their eyebrows.
Yeah.
And that's explained again, but we'll get off topic.
The Klingons are in the Discovery, right?
Yes.
How do they look? I don't think.
Well, they shaved their heads in the first season.
Awful. Second season, they've got hair again.
Yeah, they explain
that they all shaved their heads when they went to war.
Yeah, but it's a tradition that gets dropped over the next few decades.
Right, okay.
Which is fine, I don't mind.
Because all the Klingon families are separate and at war with each other.
Yeah, they
unify.
And now they've been
unified.
By Terrell, the High Chancellor. But you need to watch the season to understand why and who she is and what all that is.
See, now that's what they should make a season
The first season of Discovery is Klingon heavy. Second season, not so much. But the political Klingon stuff still going on. Which is fine because that ran through generations and
there's still a
Space Nine.
The biggest issue is, like, I said this before, and they kill a character in season 1. I won't say who because actually I will, who cares? It's Dr. Culber. They killed Dr. Culber in season 1, which is the love interest of the chief science officer Stamets.
Right.
And that's cool. I like you killing off characters that appear to be main cast.
Yeah.
Because that makes me feel there's a threat to your cast. We said it before about the death of Spock, and it's like I was watching Daredevil season 3, and it reminded me of season 1 of Daredevil, which lines up with season 1 of this, with season 1 of Discovery, and you've kind of got the point where they kill Ben Ulrich. You've seen Daredevil, haven't you?
No, I haven't seen Daredevil.
He's an old reporter that the young female lead of Daredevil teams up with, and he mentors her in
the
being
reporter,
being a reporter. He dies to the Kingpin right at the end of the season, brutally. So that's the difference. Brutally isn't the word I'd use in any Star Trek show, hopefully, when man killing a man. But they don't bring it back. Yes, I know Elektra gets resurrected in the later season of kind of Defenders and all that gibberish, but the nature of characters that have had long-term character development, where I've been invested in them, then you just kill them. And there's a depth and threat to you.
Especially when it's shocking and sudden and unexpected.
This
like
was
Tasha Yar's.
Tasha Yar, if you do that and stick with it, great. Sadly, season 2 they resurrect him. And I don't say sadly in some sort of... I mean, I suspected they do it, but the speed at which they've done it, I would have left it at least another season. They also do it as a second plot line. It's the B plot line to that episode. Yeah. Because, it kind of leads into the primary plot line in the next one. But they're searching for Spock. They're chasing some energy trail. And then and in the background, they've lost Tilly in time and space. And this is episode 3, and then episode 4 they actually get him out. But it's just such a sidetrack on what is meant to feel like a chase across space, that the subplot's so dramatic it's distracted us for a whole episode. And I feel that their pacing isn't in the right frame of mind. Right. And that's the biggest issue I have with both seasons. Less so with season 2 because it feels like they know what they're doing. But I feel like they're still not quite drawing this out carefully enough. I've heard they've extended the season.
Okay.
They added an extra couple of episodes. I think it was in Pan. I can't remember if it was 11 episodes. Now it's 13 or something. But maybe near the end they're beginning to breathe a bit more because.
How many seasons would you like out of Discovery?
Well, as many as I got. I love Star Trek. If it keeps good,
I would be quite happy with maybe five seasons, and then I would like
Well, they wanted you. You don't like Georgiou.
I don't. I don't.
Basically, the original. Were you okay with the original, or was it when she became the Empress you didn't like her?
I just didn't like the character. I didn't like the story of her and Burnham and all of that.
The Empress Georgiou. Basically, there's a mirror version of
her. The
Prime Georgiou dies in season 1 in the opening, essentially, in the first long-winded entry to the series. But then they go to the mirror universe, and Burnham's guilty about having got her mentor Georgiou killed. So she rescues the Terran Empress, who's a psychotic version of her mentor, and she ends up getting signed up for section. She's now in section 31.
I've heard from a lot of fans that was the major story.
A lot of people like Georgiou, so there's enough demand at the moment. They think they're going to give her a spin-off in section 31.
There is another spin-off show being done at the moment called Below Decks, which is going to be an animated show from one of the writers of
Breaking Bad.
Nope.
Battlestar Galactica.
Animated show.
Animaniacs.
Rick and Morty.
That's right. Nice. So Star Trek by a writer of Rick and Morty, and it's supposed to be on the least important ship in the Federation fleet. And it's the least important crew members serving on that ship. So kind of Red Dwarfish animated Star Trek.
Parody Star Trek.
And that's exactly it.
Oh no.
It might be good.
Star Trek's going to be parodying
the guy who writes Rick and Morty is fairly sharp-witted. It might turn out to be good. I don't know. I'm neutral on it.
It's something different.
But long story short, Voyager, down to the basis is, I think...
Even though all the Star Treks that there's been questionable, they've kept the Star Trek brand going. The old Star Trek movies are still there. Trekkies still know what they love.
Yeah.
And they are split. The audience is split with the new ones.
I think it's the age of the internet, and it all boils down to this, where you get the voice at the edge shouting the loudest aren't necessarily the majority. And I don't know what the viewerships of these shows are.
Nemesis is the worst.
I think most people agree Nemesis is pretty
Nemesis is the worst.
But I do think Into Darkness is trying really hard to be as bad as Nemesis.
Would you?
If not, I don't know if it's worse.
You would watch Nemesis over Into Darkness, wouldn't you?
I probably would watch.
I would watch Nemesis over Into Darkness.
I hate to say Into Darkness is pretty bad
again.
I love Benedict Cumberbatch. He's an amazing actor. Yeah. But sorry, that film kicked me in the balls so hard.
You'd watch Tom Hardy.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
How could they
you
mess
watch
up?
Tom Hardy over Benedict Cumberbatch? That is fucking disgusting. With the worst.
I don't want to scream.
Even worse than Insurrection.
The problem is Spock goes berserk on the top of a car and is acting like a tit.
That's pretty good. That's good emotion from him.
I don't need that from my Vulcan.
I don't need a bald
only do that in extremely rare short.
Telling me he's got some plan to take over the universe, but he's only got 4 days to do it, or he's going to die. So I need your fucking shit. It's fucking stupid. Nemesis is shit. Come on. Yeah, it is.
It is, but not as shit as Into Darkness.
Correct.
No.
Well, that's going to bring the Star Trek conversation to a close. But we'll be back with part 3, answering your questions.
Woohoo!
to the third part of the podcast where we're going to be answering your questions.
Yeah! Oh, Gary, that stinks. You farted.
And the first question is from Matt Midgley.
Hey, Matt.
Brilliant as always, guys. And my question for the next podcast is, what do you enjoy the most? Film reviews, gaming Fridays, or podcasts? Thanks for all the hard work. Off the shelf reviews, fist bump.
Fist bump.
I enjoy all of it. I really
do.
I
was about to say the same thing.
If I enjoyed one thing the most, I think it is the podcasts, and I think in time the podcast will continue to be one of the favourite things that we do for Off the Shelf.
Yeah.
I have got plans to live stream the podcasts through YouTube in the future.
Oh yes.
I'm going to run some technical tests over the next. I'm taking a week off pretty soon, so at some point I'm going to run some tests. I'm going to try and get the podcast live, and then once that's working, we will be on camera when we live stream the podcast. So,
well, you may have seen it.
You know,
can't be showing the Interpol watch lists.
I love the reviews more than probably anything else. I love Gaming Fridays, but I love Sequential Saturdays more.
The amount of editing you boys do, amount of editing you boys do, I respect you, because that seems a lot of work.
Man, it's a lot of work. But when you get a film, out of all the films that we get given to us, and then you've got to put that review across to the person so it's entertaining enough that it keeps their attention, and for a fact that you've just sat there for 45 minutes and spouted bollocks about some film that you watched, but you weren't really watching because it was either really, really good, and so you didn't have time to put notes down, so you're trying to remember all the scenes, or it was so bad you're like writing total shit on a piece of paper because you're about to scream at it, and then you've got to make that video depending on the length, like, oh man, why do you give us such long films? Stop giving us such long films. Actually, no, don't.
Time for the Godfather trilogy, boys.
Yeah, oh man. But then that would be really good because I get to build this video around me and Gary using the music and the film, putting the emphasis on the film, and saying, hey, if you've never seen this film, here are the reasons why you should or shouldn't watch it.
For sure. All right, next question's from Genevieve M.
Hey, Genevieve.
I really want to know what you guys thought about the television show The Mist. Great podcast, guys.
There was a TV show?
There was a TV show called The Mist, and I didn't finish it because it was so awful. But I kept watching it out of curiosity as to how more awful it would be. And I got really upset when The Mist started presenting ghosts to those that were trapped.
Oh.
And it was like it was sentient. It knew who it wanted to target and kill.
Yeah.
And it would manifest things from that person's psyche to manipulate them to coming out into the mist so it could kill them.
What, from the mall? From the shopping centre?
That's weird.
But the thing is, because it was looking at being a long-form TV show, you've also followed people trapped in different locations.
I remember you saying that to me now. I remember seeing it and then thinking, how are they going to...
I vaguely remember seeing it.
Stretch
all out in the thing
over a longer period.
Yeah, so they're all you got people all around the town being affected by the mist.
Yeah,
but and then the army turned up.
No, I don't.
Well, no,
so.
you're forgetting
the show was cancelled after the first season.
In the original book, it actually ends with them driving off into the mist.
Yeah.
They don't die. The army only show up in the movie.
And I think that's what the show was going to probably do. Like no army turning up.
I did not like the movie ending. Yeah. I mean, some people did, but I personally liked...
It was shocking.
It was shocking. Yeah, it was shocking. Shock value versus despairing Cthulhu, kind of eldritch apocalypse.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy.
But, would you be happy if the film ended and he's just sat by the side of the car screaming and then the film ends?
It'd be just as harsh. It would be just as harsh.
Maybe.
I like
Good Guys 1.
I like
the mist was being pushed back, and I'm like... That's a bit of a cop.
I like turning the film off when...
they're pushing the mist back. The mist doesn't get pushed back. The mist is hell incarnate.
Yeah, when that big creature walks over them and they were still in the car, that's where you should end that film. Yeah. But, I mean, how would you work on TV series? I mean, did they go 2 seasons?
No, cancelled after the first season because of its awfulness. Not only was what they were doing with the Mist story awful, the actors were bad. The camera work was uninspired. The Mist effects were awful.
I heard
really bad.
So Gary didn't like it.
So no,
I'm going to go with fucking terrible.
Fucking terrible.
Next question's from an alcoholic goat.
Hey, goat.
Really interested to hear your thoughts on Pitch Black.
Ooh.
Not a perfect movie, but I find it does have a lot of redeeming qualities.
I like Pitch Black.
Pitch Black is my least favourite of the 3 Riddick films.
Really?
Yeah.
No. I mean, what was it? You had Pitch
Well, that's
Black,
funny because I
Chronicles
agree,
of
but
Riddick,
none of them are bad.
and then
None
Riddick,
of them are bad, no.
Riddick is boring.
I thought Riddick I really like. Chronicles of Riddick's my favourite. Riddick's my second favourite. Pitch Black's my third favourite.
I think I'm swinging to more what Jez said, actually. It's the fact that none of them are really bad. Like, I saw Pitch Black in the cinema.
Didn't we discuss this a long time ago in the podcast? Because I think I said this, and it was a matter of, one is the ultimate horror film, in terms of, one of them is an absolute horror film. The rest of them are Riddick kicking the shit out of people. But you realise Riddick's lethality in the original film.
The original Pitch Black movie.
The idea this hostile planet.
This moon gets close enough to this planet and suddenly devils pour forth onto the planet.
That was a really great idea. You know, there hadn't been a good alien
and
film
the boy
for a
reveal
while.
where you're bleeding, and how do you know I'm bleeding? Because I could smell your bleeding. It's a girl in disguise as a boy.
Yeah. And just having that creature, the creature was really madly class designed.
Yeah.
You know, you took they take the aspects of like a hammerhead shark and a wolf and a snake, and then applied it all together, and then just made the whole planet dark.
Yeah.
And then the noise those things would make as well, the ooh, kind of squealing to each other. I love that whole sequence where the preppy posh guy, he's gone out into he's fallen out into darkness. Yeah. And he gets the alcohol out and he blows that big fire. And
you just see
and they're
them
all there. And then you just hear the munching.
Yeah. It's a fun little
I
horror
like the
film.
idea of the bounty hunter bringing in his prey. You know, I really liked, you know, the action sequence at the beginning where she crashes onto the planet.
And they're all flawed.
was
You're
good.
you're forgetting the really good horror trope they played, which is a trope. Everybody's the bad guy, except the bad guy.
Except Riddick, yes.
He's the prisoner, he's the convict. Oh, he must be the bad guy.
Yeah, he's the anti-hero.
he's the anti-hero.
Yeah.
And everyone else, she included, has something to...
It was all done very well.
He's a liar or a criminal. So the script was tight, it was small, it was low budget to an extent. It was a great little film. And I think
it was.
I think...
It led into a universe, though, that they haven't properly established.
But there is another Riddick film in the works.
In the pipeline. Yeah. Chronicles of Riddick was... Carl Urban, I think Carl Urban wants to come back and wrap up.
Chronicles of Riddick was really good.
So hopefully the next film will be that.
Expanded the universe. Then you got Riddick, which is just a remake of the first
Chronicles of Riddick's a flawed masterpiece in the sense that it gave you a universe that seems really cool.
Yeah.
But it was just...
They just told another small story again. I liked that a lot.
No, but the universe seems slightly clunky. They didn't explain it all very well.
The universe was big enough there. They're like, look how big it is. Riddick is kind of integral.
Like New Mecha.
Okay.
It was all set on New Mecha and you had the...
I like it if they keep doing big story, small story, big story, small story, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you entirely. I think changing the genre almost.
Yeah.
And it's what keeps...
Because the third one's more like a Rambo film.
Yeah,
it's what gives Marvel its fuel. Marvel's films are heroes, superhero films. You think, oh, that's a genre. No, because if you look at Captain America Civil War compared to, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, one is a spy thriller. Yes, still action films are all action films to some extent, but one's a spy thriller action.
Well, I mean, it's like
one's a galactic
Arnold and, you know, all of our favourite 80s action movies, heroes. You know, they behave like superheroes in a lot of those films anyway.
So people talk about superhero, I think they're probably being disingenuous because that's just because Marvel are making these films.
But Riddick was always the cool sci-fi anti-hero.
Yeah, I think there's very few that compare to Riddick because Riddick took the sci-fi genre, which is you were talking about it in TV. We're talking about it in any form of entertainment. It's a starved genre. I wish they'd make another bloody Blade Runner because I want the cyber. I want the stars. You know, I absolutely
stick to Pitch Black, Jez. We're going too far on the Blade Runner.
But the point
Pitch
I'm
Black
making
is still a good film.
Pitch Black is a great film, and we need more decent sci-fi.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question's a bit of a big one. And it's from Birds Elope with the Sun.
Hey, birds.
And the question is, for the next podcast, have you guys watched any videos from Moeller? He's the one who made the 5-hour critique of The Last Jedi. I was wondering, what are your opinions on this whole controversy of objective versus subjective argumentation? Is art just subjective, or are there parts that can be judged objectively? Can you call a movie objectively bad?
Oh man!
Now, yes, I've watched almost every video that Mauler has put up. because I was curious to watch him analyze. It was a response to somebody's positive review of Dark Souls 2, and he analysed his positive review and proved him wrong on every single point. And it took 10 hours to do that.
How did he
went
prove him
into
wrong?
detail and shown video highlights and and shown all the reasons why he was wrong.
He picks apart every positive point he makes. But the point...
Now, he also did a 3 or 4 hour video on The Last Jedi, showing everything that they did wrong.
Right.
And he explained... Mauler, as far as I can explain, he's doing objective arguments, and he's also being told that all of what he's doing is subjective anyway.
Right.
And so why do you need to spend... the criticism against him is why do you need to spend 5-10 hours
analysing something so deeply
trying to objectively analyse something so deeply. Now, I really like what Mauler's doing. I think his content's really, really good. And I like what he's trying to do because nobody else... I mean, we can't do it, Ian, because we do a video every week.
Yeah.
We don't have enough time to fully research and analyse and go into that detail because Mauler releases a video once every few months. Because that's how much time he's putting into one.
Is it always
video.
a negative review that he's doing?
Because he has done a few praise videos.
Which for
about an hour.
No, do you know of which films and stuff?
The last Infinity War, he did. He calls them
Marvel
unbridled praise, in which he just rambles for as long as he can.
Yeah.
About whatever thing.
Well, that's good. You got to take the good with the bad. I think the truth is there is always the viewer is an individual, and as long as we believe in the individual, every person has an opinion.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's
But
the main
you
thing.
can pick an opinion apart, especially
Yes.
and no piece.
totally.
I don't think. How'd you put it? Humans are flawed creatures. So
Yeah,
anything we create,
you are right.
anything we create may carry some of our flaws with it.
Some people will like it and some will not.
Yeah, but the point is there may be, quite possibly in a very rare case, a perfect element of a film, but it will not necessarily... I don't think any single entity in all of creation is perfect.
Yeah.
Unless you
Now,
want to get to some...
I like
there's always going to be a
in
negative
terms of
review.
Mauler's long form terms of doing things and in his analysis is when it's on subject matters that or films or mediums like games, Dark Souls, which I'm a big fan of, and Star Wars, which is a massive pop phenomenon. You know, when he's analysing things like that, it's interesting for the viewer to watch those analyses because you're invested in that world already, and watching somebody else's very analytical mind lay things out for you and explain things and the reasoning for his arguments is what Mauler is really about. He doesn't like people claiming things and making them sound like facts, like Blade Runner is awesome, fact. You know, that's me saying it.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it you know, and I'm not giving any reasons why. I'm just stating it as a fact, you know. And that's
that argument doesn't stand much nowadays. I mean, that's probably what I don't watch Mauler. Probably as a cool guy, he's making 5-hour-long videos of analyzing things and obviously taking them apart. But what actually really makes him and trying to stick with the question that we've actually got, what makes him any different to say like Angry Joe, Nostalgia Critic?
Now,
you know,
Mauler even says something along the lines of that what you tend to find when you watch reviewers is that you will tend to find similarities with what become your favourite reviewers. Because you watch them over enough time, you get to realise... So, for instance, the Shelfers listening... They kind of know and can easily anticipate which films we would recommend and which ones we wouldn't, based on how many of the reviews of us that they've already watched.
Right, okay.
When I watch an Angry Joe review, I know pretty much whether he's going to enjoy or hate a game. But they come there because they like the personality, and because we have an enthusiasm for no matter what it is that we're discussing.
See,
it remains interesting whether we are objective or subjective in our presentation of it.
You got to consider, I think, it's difficult. Humans are irrational creatures. So again, is somebody being... When we're talking about this, it's talking about a reviewer as an individual. You're suggesting, are you being objective or subjective in your review of a given item? Are you being quite blasé, I hated it, throw it in the bin? Are you being... or you're being unwittingly loving of it, and then you're like, oh, it's amazing, everyone should go see it? Or are you actually being
personally, when I sit
down
and watch the film, I'm being honest in my view of the film that I've watched.
But do you extrapolate? The point is, it's the extrapolation
I try to analyse as much as I can, because people want questions. They want to know why. I can't just, like you said, you can't just say something is awesome because people will argue it.
Yeah.
They don't mean to argue. But
they do mean to argue because they might disagree with you.
They don't mean to argue, but it's just an automatic response.
Okay,
it's just a human automatic response, which
you think you've abbreviated what you mean because you haven't got time to explain it.
My personal.
But then listening to both arguments is what I find fascinating.
My personal view is you have to have both sides.
Yeah, and it's difficult.
You have to stand. No, well, it's not difficult.
There are some films and games that are universally loved, and you can call them objectively amazing games.
Yeah, but everything has a flaw. But everything has a flaw.
People generally like The Dark Knight, but I believe you do not.
I love The Dark Knight, but I notice the flaws in everything now because it's gotten to the point where people want me to see the flaws. You can't turn around anywhere without somebody going, "Hey, look at that! That's a flaw." And what would be such a perfect image? You're like, why would you point that out to me? Because I just want everybody to know. Look, there's a blemish. You're like, shut the fuck up. I'm enjoying the overall picture.
I can enjoy that as part of the filmmaking. That's why with Aliens, I love all of the little mistakes you can see in the screen.
Yes, when you love something so much, and this takes me back to Mauler. Mauler really probably loves everything he does, but he also loves looking into it and wondering why it's so shit.
Yes, yeah.
And then recording it and putting it out there. Now the question is, does he enjoy people viewing him doing that, or does he not care? Or does he not care because he's just like...
because he's opening he's opening it up for conversation.
Yeah, I think the age we live in, like I said earlier,
that's another point.
The universe gets polarised. We don't want a polarised universe. We want a kind of nuanced middle ground.
He makes a 5-hour video explaining to us why something is bad, and then he says, argue with me. And you're like, why would you argue? Why would you point everything out to me and say, look, this is bad? Go on, what do you think?
Because you might help him.
I think you said earlier Suicide Squad as an example, but we were just saying prior. Suicide Squad is generally considered not to be great.
Yeah.
And that's a generalisation. And it's my opinion, but I think it's the opinion of most people. Now, is that... it's objectively bad or subjectively bad? And the truth is...
It depends on the scale.
Most of it is... I think most of it you could... We said this before, the budget should have allowed for a film that should have been well funded. So anything that looks cheap or odd... Well, yes, that's odd. Why is the final boss a CGI nightmare?
It depends.
Who knows?
It depends on the scale that you're comparing this thing to. Are you scaling it on the DC movies
the bar scene,
or all movies?
No, you're looking at just that film. But
on its own.
Yeah, on your own. You then go, how well was that sequence put together? Why is that script making them do that?
It's not a bad film. On its own, it's not a bad film. Comparing it to a movie like The Dark Knight, it suffers very heavily.
So that's why you cannot call a movie objectively bad, because there are Ians in the world.
Yes. You have to take...
That would be enough. Also, I would say the bar sequence was okay.
Harley Quinn was really well put in that movie. And the Joker's not bad. I like the Joker.
Leo's Joker.
That's an opinion.
It's mine, and I like
it's a subjective opinion.
If you want, I can make a 5-hour analysis and explain to you.
Answer that question.
That's done. We're done. I can't take anymore.
Okay.
Next question that I've seen a lot, Ian. I don't know if you've seen this question a few times.
Okay.
But Nicholas Mace. Hey, Nicholas.
Hey, Nicholas. Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Can you look at Godzilla Planet of the Monsters?
Yes, we can at some point. It will go on our to-do list, but if you
Which one is Godzilla Planet of the Monsters?
Oh, it's like the...
I don't even know which one it is.
Fifth?
Is it the fifth one?
It's one of the earlier... six...
You know what I might do, Ian? I might just get a collection of all the Godzilla movies.
There's a lot.
Put them in... Yeah, I know. And then put them in a hat and pull one out and just... We'll just do that one.
What are you?
No,
really?
It's Godzilla is a touchy subject for me. I think it's a touchy subject for a lot of people because it depends on where you come in on what era and what Godzilla you want. I haven't seen Godzilla Shogun, which I think is one of the newest ones, which is the Japanese version of what the Americans made. And that's supposed to be really, really good. But then it depends on if you want more monsters. So Final Wars would be really good. Planet of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I think we're looking just at Godzilla, Rodan, and maybe King Ghidorah. So if I remember, it might be one of the better ones.
Okay.
The dubbing is going to be crazy. The
Yeah.
storyline's going to make no sense, and the guys in suits are just going to be laughing your ass off.
I'll see what we can do, Nicholas. I'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can.
We'll see what we can do, Nicholas.
Next question's from Matthias.
Hey, Matthias.
Question for the next one. Top 3 worst Hellraiser movies. Yes, I want to hear Ian lose his mind. Top 3 worst Hellraiser movies.
Judgment, Revelations, and Hellworld? No, Deader.
These are...
Hellworld or Deader. Oh, Hellseeker's
Here's the reason I
not
don't
too bad.
envy your job
Inferno's
sometimes, guys.
not too bad. Bloodlines is okay. Revelations and Judgment.
Revelations is the worst one. Judgment is the second. No, Revelations is the worst one. Judgment is the second worst one. Then Hellworld.
Deader's pretty fucking bad.
Deader's got Kerry Ware in it, so it gets a bit of a pass for me. That's Tanya.
Hellworld, yeah. Okay. Hellworld.
Yeah.
Revelations, Judgment, and Hellworld.
Yeah.
Fucking Superman. Thanks, Matthias.
Next question is from Cul-de-sac.
Hey, Cul-de-sac.
Blade Runner when? I will tell you that we will review Blade Runner the year that Blade Runner is set in.
2049.
No, the original one.
Oh,
he
right.
didn't ask for Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, sorry. Well, he just said Blade Runner, you know.
Yeah. So
it could be Game of Friday.
We'll review it the year that Blade Runner is set in.
Okay. 1982.
Next question is from Hermione.
Hey, Herman.
Sorry. Are you doing Iron Sky: The Coming Race? Well, we reviewed the first one, didn't we? I think it's still on the channel. I need to check.
You pulled Iron Sky out right when we first started doing off the shelf
yeah.
reviews, and it was at that point I was just like, we can do anything. You know, we could have started doing reviews on the classics, Aliens, Predator, Terminator, things like that.
We knew we had to warm up to them. I wanted to warm up to them.
Yeah, exactly. We were still learning the ropes of YouTube and editing and how long we should be talking for. You know, audio sound levels and all that kind of shit. And then we watched Iron Sky and I'm like, how the fuck am I going to explain a black man being turned into an albino by a Nazi race on the moon who then try to attack the planet and flying saucers while the planet defends itself with all of the
defense station.
Yeah, the Mir space station has laser guns and the Australians have spaceships. It was fucking cool.
It was crazy.
And then they decided to make a sequel with flying sharks and T-Rexes.
I mean, is Iron Sky the third one? I don't know.
No,
is it
wikied it.
The second one?
The Coming Race actually came out in the cinema, I think,
because
last year.
I'm so confused because I'm sure the trailer for it was years ago.
It was. The trailer was years ago, but I think it was released last year when we went to see Escape from New York in the cinema.
Right.
And I've wikied it. It seems funny. I don't know if it's going to be as funny as the first one.
In the making. We will see it. Maybe we will review it.
The first one was stupid.
But it was fun.
This one's got T-Rex.
Yeah. Hitler's riding dinosaurs. I might just have to see it.
I could be described the next Wolfenstein, to be honest.
I need to see Overlord. Next question.
Craig Hoare.
Hey, Craig.
In an age where the Alien, the Predator, and the Terminator have all let us down so badly and possibly destroyed their own franchises, how amazing was Bruce Willis's cameo in the spoilers in the Lego Movie 2? I haven't seen Lego Movie 2, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
and Jason Momoa 2. Go watch it now. Okay, I'm sorry, Greg. I have to go.
Yeah. Stop. Right, come back. I've actually recently watched this. I should have said this at the beginning that we took Dylan to see Lego Movie 2.
Nice.
It's more of the first one, but not as good. But the Bruce Willis section was... I couldn't believe it. You know, she just whipped off her hair. Oh, spoilers. Well, there's a part with Wildstone. She's just, you know, she does something and they turn and there's a Lego Bruce Willis there, and I'm like, I want a Bruce Willis, John McClane Lego figure. You know, Jason Momoa as well. Yeah, there was big heavy jokes about Marvel not having any ties with the Lego Movie,
right?
And so all they had was the Justice League, and they're not in it for very long. Yeah,
cool. Yeah, I will probably watch it. I heard that the reviews were, you know, it's as fun as the first movie, just not as original.
I think there's going to be a third one.
There was the Ninjago movie before this one, plus there's been Lego Batman.
Yeah, but I'm thinking an actual Lego movie 3. Yeah. What I was thinking was, because I saw it and then I watched Toy Story. and it's the kid aspect. It's you're trying to focus the Lego world in the real world.
Yeah.
But they're not molding well enough, I don't think.
Well, people love the mix, apparently. That's why it's so well reviewed. I haven't got around to watching either of them, so yeah.
Nice, Jess. Thanks for that.
Hey, my put.
Next question is from Linda.
Hey, Linda.
So, British people have been debating this very important issue for a while now. So, what I think we all want to know is, which side are you guys on? Jam first or cream first on your scone?
Scone or scone?
Scone, darling. Scone.
It's a scone. Jam for me, no cream.
No cream for Gary. Gary doesn't
Well,
like
no
the
cream
white
at
stuff.
all?
No cream, thank you. Just some jam.
I like
Cheers.
I find structurally the cream should go first with the jam. That is the Devon. The Cornwall. Well,
See, now,
Devon, Cornwall,
it depends on which.
no, that's the Devon way, I think. Cornwall's I think. Cornwall's
Which is
jam.
yours, not nationally.
I said that.
Or if you
Cream,
wanna
cream,
take a
then
fucking
jam.
Cream base,
cream-
then jam.
Right, okay.
And then you shove another scone with cream.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, it
Ian's
depends
answer is bacon.
Yeah, what number scone you're on, you know, because you might just cut it in half and then just.
When
eat
you've eaten
one.
about 12 of them
Like,
and you're
yeah.
bleeding out on the floor from a ruptured gut.
I'd go with jam first. I mean,
Yeah.
too much cream after a while can do your head in, but it's those raisins. I can eat like 5 or 6
Well, I
scones.
actually prefer a plain scone.
Yeah, plain for me too, no raisins.
No
I'll eat a
raisins.
fruit scone, but I prefer a plain scone.
Motherfucker. Blasphemy, you're always going to have raisins. It's not a scone without raisins.
Next question's for William Lowry.
Hey, William.
Here we go again with Alien. Oh, here we go. It's a matchup. Alien versus Predator versus Freddy versus Jason versus King Kong versus Godzilla versus Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys versus Dollman versus Kramer versus Kramer. Who would win?
Dustin Hoffman.
In a Godzilla suit.
Well, I mean, Jason is immortal, so...
But Godzilla would surely radiate him into nothing.
Well, he'd be too busy fighting King Kong,
Godzilla
wouldn't he?
would also destroy the hive. I don't think the acid blast would do too much to Godzilla either.
Oh,
What sort of
swarm of
what sort of
aliens.
childhood memories do you think Godzilla has that Freddy can mess with?
Does
Freddy
Godzilla
would just
sleep?
sit back, actually.
I don't even know.
Well, he would be asleep to start off with, so Freddy would be controlling Godzilla, fighting...
Maybe in a really abusive childhood. Dad just was a bit.
King Kong's been awoken because the Predators crashed into the jungle. Obviously, the Puppet Master's using the demonic toys. The Puppet Master is controlling Jason and the demonic toys. Who's the doll man?
I'm not sure. I'm just imagining a facehugger on Freddy Krueger at the moment.
And the whole time this is going on, we have Dustin Hoffman and his wife battling over custody of their son in a courtroom. You know, it's just like the Godzilla movie where it's just big fights about to start and then it cuts to Dustin Hoffman.
I can see you running from like Godzilla and explosions and then a facehugger just coming out of nowhere. So, I mean, humanity's screwed no matter what.
That would be a
You're
big
not
chest
getting a
burster.
facehugger
I
on
think the
Godzilla
Predators
or Kong.
might win because I'll assume their ship is a big enough gun to just crack the planet. Because at this point, just blow the
depends
planet.
Depends on what studio.
I'm just talking one of each one of them. So.
Well, I think the Predator might just get back on a ship and leave because there's a fair fight and there's not a fair fight.
Right, who you going with then?
God, because I think he's just clicking.
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
You can't pick any answer that's not there.
He is the king of the
I'm
monsters
going with
for a
Dustin Hoffman, Gary.
Sure. Yeah, I'm going Godzilla.
Godzilla, right.
Because, yeah.
Because the Predator ain't going to fight. I think even most Predators show enough intelligence, they're going to be like, you're saying I might, but I'm not paid enough for this.
Predator get fucked up by Jason.
He'd be fucked up by half the cast.
He wouldn't even get turned. He wouldn't.
If the
turn
aliens
up
have
on
had time to get a
thermal vision,
foothold,
No.
the aliens at least could.
Well, it depends which
be a
version of
problem.
Jason it is.
The aliens are not
Is
going to have an
Jason
issue
alive
with
or resurrected?
Jason.
It's the resurrected
I don't think
one.
the aliens are going to give a shit about Freddy or Jason, but the problem is Godzilla does.
What if the aliens are using Jason
What if they
as
face
a facehugger
what
chest
happens if they
burster
can
farm?
face? What happens if they can face hug Godzilla?
No, that's just silly. But, they've got Jason in the hive, and the facehugger jumps on him. Chestburster comes out, makes a Jason.
Then Jason
alien,
resurrects.
and then Jason resurrects, makes another chestburster.
But he's dead then, so...
Well, he's helping the aliens.
He's undead then.
That's it. That's the undead. The facehugger is just using him. It's just using him as a rope.
Like we
It's
said, I
feeding on
think
it and-
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla.
Next question is from David Allen Evans.
Hey, David.
Greetings, gentlemen. So, having finished the Resident Evil 2 remake, I must say that it is awesome, and alongside Resi 7
That's
has
Biohazard?
shown that the big budget horror games are still in demand.
Yeah.
However, I still prefer the original. Could this be nostalgia of an aging man? Or is there something about pre-rendered backgrounds, cheesy dialogue, and expressive PlayStation 1 polygons that modern day gaming cannot recapture? I said earlier, I love the remake and I love the original game.
I think sentimentality can affect you, but I think originality is originality.
On a given day, I would rather play a modern game with modern graphics and sounds and controls. But because Resident Evil 2 was such a special original game when it came out, I will load that game up on any given day that I feel like and play it.
It's why people play retro games in general. Yes. You go back... Yeah. Sure, there's better games with better controls nowadays. Although the remastering of Crash Bandicoot, I believe that's actually harder than the original because the shadowing was upgraded to be dynamic, so you couldn't track the movement across some of the more difficult jump levels because your shadow told you where you were going to land, so you knew if you needed to keep moving. But yeah, so I like Baldur's Gate, which is isometric games, so they for me are great, and then with the childhood games I loved. Yeah, I play those over a shooter. Cool. Yeah. Well, actually, I play those over any Call of Duty or EA Nightmare they make nowadays.
Yeah. You just got to pick any good day. The weird thing is, I just recently started playing Alien Colonial Marines with Dylan. Dylan's just got into Aliens and Predators recently. Wanted to play a game. Let's play Colonial Marines. Okay. Sticks it on. It's terrible.
It's clunky, it's horrible.
The graphics are all over the place. The AI is useless. The aliens,
It's not a great game, no.
He's loving it, though. To him, it's like me playing Alien Trilogy.
You should have made him play Alien Trilogy.
Man, I try to play Alien Trilogy. It takes certain skill.
Well, like I said, there's...
And you look at these games with these bad graphics. At the time, when you bought it for 70 quid... You're like, motherfucker. 10 years later, you're just
you should have played Alien Isolation.
I'm glad
Why weren't you playing Alien Isolation?
He will be soon.
I will be playing.
Oh, good. That's all right then.
Yeah, but I'm easing Dylan in. He played some Alien vs Predator 2004 on the Xbox 360.
That's all right.
Loved ripping off the heads of the Predators and stuff like that. I'm like, whoa, okay. Think we need to balance.
Has he not played Alien Concrete Jungle yet? Predator Concrete Jungle.
He's been playing that. He wanted to play the Alien vs Predator PC game,
the original one,
old school. Gold Edition 2. But anyway, nostalgic. Going back, you can
nostalgia.
Dive in every now and again, but obviously come up to the surface and play new games.
Yeah. Next question's from Zane.
Hey Zane.
Hey guys, what are your top 5 favorite performances of all time? It can include performances from film or TV, and any genre is allowed. Can't wait for the podcast. Keep up your badass work, and can't wait for more Red Dead shenanigans with Iain and Gary.
Nice.
Cheers, tough question.
Top 5 favourite performances. I mean, where do you even start?
Look, Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh, yes.
Well, it's about people who steal a movie.
Yeah.
So you got to look at a movie.
Well, not just a movie. I'm thinking Tina Turner as well. Maybe Bryan Adams live on stage.
Okay.
Did he say music?
It's a genre,
It's the top favourite.
Kurt Cobain live unplugged, that's pretty good. Yeah. Well, okay, so we'll go with film. I mean, Heath Ledger is up there.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson in The Shining. I'm just going to throw that one out there.
Maybe. Well, if you're going to go with that, Clockwork Orange.
What, Roddy McDowell? McDowell?
Is it McDowell that's centre actor on that?
Is it Roddy or Malcolm? It's one of the McDowells.
Yeah.
They're not even related. I got the name totally wrong.
But yeah, I think people who've made defining roles that mark an era, because you've got to think the Joker is almost set.
I've got one.
Go.
Bruce Willis, Mikey, Look Who's Talking.
Yeah.
Go on, Gary. You've got one.
I'm going to go with Rutger Hauer in Blade Runner.
Oh, yeah. Okay, right. Let's go with 5 then. We're going Heath Ledger, Rutger Hauer. Okay. One we all can agree on.
Now, but it's not the main actor. It's the last great role by Marlon Brando, where he plays the Colonel.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
It's dark.
Actually.
It's just it's an actor dying, seeing his end and echoing it through his role. So it's one of the great roles. I mean, you could say Godfather, but I never felt that had the same impact.
I think I got one that beats that. Okay, top 5 performances: Harvey Keitel and Tim Roth, Reservoir Dogs. The final sequence where he tells him he's a cop.
That's pretty dark.
It is pretty damn good.
Count that as one, because there's
I'm
one
going to
more.
go with Edward James Olmos' speech in Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I think we'll go for that. That might be the top one.
We'll go with those,
Yeah, so Heath Ledger, Rutger Hauer, the dying sequence of Reservoir Dogs, the speech in Battlestar Galactica, and
what was it? What was I thinking? There was a really good speech at a TV show that was
anything by Limp Bizkit.
I'm going to move on to the next question.
Sharon Stone, basically. I think.
We're probably going to answer more of these.
Great question, Zane. I wish I'd had more time to think about it. Next question's from Jack Hawkins.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, guys. If you could choose one director to direct every movie for the rest of eternity, who would it be and why?
John Carpenter, done.
I think Fincher.
Fincher is great. I love David Fincher.
Maybe Fincher.
Every film for the rest of eternity, I would be so depressed.
I'm a shadowy soul. All right, let's go James Gunn then.
Yeah, I'd take James Gunn.
I think he could keep it lively enough, and he's got enough skill to give us enough
range.
Or we go for a Quentin, because I don't know what he's going to do with the next Star Trek. He's got they're giving him a Star Trek movie.
I don't know if that's still happening.
Yeah. No. I'm pretty sure.
I don't think it's happening anymore. I think it's just still.
No. The CBS exec, when I was reading those articles about the merger, they were saying we still want Quentin to make that film for us.
Oh dear.
So yours is Quentin Tarantino.
No, I'm going to stick with what I said. Fincher, miserable kid that I am.
I mean, there was a day where I would have been torn between David Fincher and Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah.
But he did accidentally decide, I know, let's get involved in Justice League. Oh, Josh. Should have just made the Batgirl movie. They were off.
But I think at the end, it's very tough, because I know I've got my art ones, but I think I will probably go with
David Lynch.
James Cameron. I will take James Cameron, because Terminator and Aliens and Titanic and
Avatar, it would take eternity to get his last film out.
It probably would take an eternity to get the next film out.
Yeah, you won't get a lot of films in that eternity, but
True Lies is pretty badass though.
Yeah, I like True
Lies. I like True Lies.
Cool. Not such a fan of Avatar, but
next question is from Genevieve Thomas.
Hey Genevieve.
Hi guys. Do you guys watch the television show Doctor Who?
Ooh, nice.
And if so, what do you think about the latest season? Also, how many seasons do you think The Walking Dead is going to last for? Interesting questions. And no, my dad was a big fan of Doctor Who. Unlike Star Trek, I didn't get into Doctor Who. My dad wasn't interested in Doctor Who when it was revived.
Yeah.
I watched the first couple episodes of the revival series back in the early 2000s. And never watched an episode after. Even though I knew it was growing in popularity again, I just still had no appeal.
Yeah, I got back into it. I watched it when I was a kid, obviously, growing up, BBC Two, Doctor Who, all the crazy doctors. They're on
Sylvester McCoy was the one I remember when we were kids. There were repeats on all the other episodes, obviously, so I've seen all the other Doctors prior. But then they did the movie after Sylvester McCoy's season, which was... what was
his name? Fucking... that goddamn actor. But yeah, they then brought it back onto TV show in the early 2000s with Christopher Eccleston.
And then Tennant.
And then David Tennant and Matt Smith. And I got back into
most,
it
but I didn't watch much. I mean, I've seen one episode a season, basically.
See, I got back into it when, obviously, I met my wife, because she was mad into it, and we started watching it. And I started to notice that, obviously, because it hasn't got that much of a following, it's remembered, but it hasn't got much of a following. You only get a few episodes each year. You get like 6 or 8 halfway through a year.
I think it's a huge following, actually.
It does, because the thing is, because it had a huge following in America.
You're talking about historically.
I'm talking about TV-wise.
That's intentional. They starve the audience. They're rabid animals. You don't want to mess with Doctor Who fans. They tell you to pieces.
But it's a problem as well, because they have such long periods between the shows that obviously the person playing the Doctor has other things and has to go off and do other things. Like, we had Peter Capaldi. Now, I really liked Peter Capaldi.
He's great, yeah.
But he only was in it for 2 seasons.
2 runs of it, maybe?
I think 3. Yeah. But people didn't like him. And I was just like, why? It's the Doctor. It's always a new identity each time.
Yeah,
it's always
and it should be jarring.
A new actor. It's supposed to throw you off. It's the stories that keep you
they've changed his gender.
But then the sidekicks he has after changes also swap out over time.
They've just made the Doctor a female. I can't remember the actress, which... Even
she's meant to be fine.
She is really good, but the weird thing is obviously in this era that we are now with TV shows, and especially how you're supposed to portray characters over towards the audience. You're trying to get kids and teens, families basically, sit them down on a Sunday night and get them to watch Doctor Who. So now you've got this female character. Already people are jarred because they're like, can the Doctor do that? It's like, yes, he's a regenerating alien.
And you see it happen in other seasons. A female general's killed, and he respawns as a she. And it's a white general turns to a black woman.
But the thing I want to know is, how far are they going to go with this identity? You know, is it just an alien in a female skin, or is the Doctor going to actually have...
The Gallifreyans are humanoid.
Right, so is she going to synchronise with other female travellers, shall we say?
You mean synchronise? You're losing us.
You've lost me because I don't know.
Anyway.
So...
The most recent Doctor Who I have actually really enjoyed. A lot of the episodes have been quite political. There was a time travelling one where they were there for the civil rights.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode. They just need more of it. I feel, like I said, I can't handle 6 or 8 episodes.
You feel there's not enough content there for you?
Yeah, I need a weekly kind of thing for a little while.
Well, I believe the actress is pregnant. That's why they've delayed the next season.
Yeah, things happen.
I could be wrong.
How many seasons do you think Walking Dead is last for?
Honestly, I reckon it will probably last another 8 years.
Christ.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon it'll go another 8 years.
Okay, well, 8 years, not as many seasons.
I'd also say 8 to 10. I reckon they would end it if they could on season 20. I think they would get that far.
I think they might actually finish after the
Whispers. It might be down to how much the writers...
I don't think they'll finish after
they've been spinning off.
Sure.
It's the same as Game of Thrones. They want more seasons. Game of Thrones got spin-off seasons.
That's why they already have the Rick Grimes movie spin-off, the Fear the Walking Dead spin-off, and they could easily start another spin-off at some point. And if anything, because what I was a little bit excited for in the most recent series of The Walking Dead was that they flashed back to the first week of the apocalypse. And I was excited. I was like, wow, they haven't flashed back this far in a long time.
But the writer, I think Alex... No, that's a...
No.
Who's the writer?
Scott Gimbel's he's now the overall showrunner, but yeah, that's, I've forgotten what the lady's name is, but she's Jessica...
The actual comic book writer. I believe the guy who's writing the comic books, he's got some hand in the way they go with the show.
Yeah,
he lets them know what he's thinking for his future comics. The hint is he might have finally caved in on his own narrative, where it's like he's never aimed to explain the apocalypse, but I think there was some suggestion he will finally come round to finally explain what happened, which may mean there's some things they come across that start to raise questions about what's going on, which is again maybe why you've got this spin-off to England, and maybe you're going to find that his child and partner end up hooking up.
There's so much story potential that they could honestly go 50 seasons of The Walking Dead.
But they don't want
and they could
to
move
burn
another.
themselves.
There could be a spin-off season set in England.
The only thing is that the cast will change. You know, because they'll die, but because the actors will have other jobs and other things. But stories to tell in that apocalyptic universe is infinite.
Yeah, and they can but some of steps out might step back in, and some that are in there might step out. So it's going to be an unknown totally. It's down to as long as it's making.
They can time jump and do all sorts. I still love it.
It's usable. Yeah.
Next question is from Lewis Chineri.
Hey, Lewis.
Hey guys, loving all your content as usual. What would be the top of your bucket list for the following extreme sports, i.e. skydive, bungee jump, holiday destination, and lastly, your favourite car or motorcycle you must drive on a certain route? Also, are you going to play Metro Exodus? Cheers, keep up the great work.
Fist bump.
Fist bump. Bucket list, I guess skydive, maybe. I'd probably skydive.
Skydive, I'd go with skydive.
Yeah. Holiday destination.
Not so interested in bungee jumping.
Yeah.
Well...
Favourite car? I mean, I want the Plymouth Fury. I want Christine car.
All of it.
I don't want to drive
moving.
it on Route 66, America.
I'd like to travel some back roads through Central Asia.
Bet you would, you lady boy.
Well, no, so it's like the unknown. We never. If you look at the map, it's like when you look at Russia, Asia, and Europe, there's huge swathes that run through the middle. Like you just don't know what those countries are like. There's, I believe, one of the most secretive nations in the world that marble everything. That I can't remember what the country's called. It's No, it's Pakistan. It's one of the central above kind of China to the right.
My geography's terrible.
I know mine's okay, but I can't remember the name of the damn place. But there's some places in the world.
Straight line.
I'd want to go to the I'd want to go to the really unknown locations.
Yeah.
I just want to see the dark corners of the world.
I'd take an abandoned weather station in the middle of the Arctic. You know, the only way you can get there is like you have to fly, and it's
in a helicopter.
Well,
they might crash.
Yeah, helicopter.
But yeah, me and extreme sports is like opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, it's fun. I think a skydive would be cool, but anything else is way too much.
Yeah, why would you want to imagine your face is going to hit the floor and then not?
Well, that's the thrill of it, isn't it?
And seeing the world.
That's the adrenaline rush.
And it's seeing the world from an angle and a view you're never going to see.
Yeah, I don't think I'm allowed adrenaline.
Oh, okay. Well,
Metro Exodus I am excited for. I just haven't purchased it yet because I was going to get it on PC and I just couldn't be asked with the Epic
they've moved it to Epic
thing,
Games
so I might
Steam,
just wait until it comes on Steam or just get the Epic app at some
or
point.
buy
But
it,
also,
or get it on your Xbox.
for the next couple of weeks, I'm probably not going to be playing much of anything because I'm trying to get a ton of back work of editing and stuff done so I can take a week off.
Nice.
But once that week's off, I think I'll be getting Metro Exodus and then most definitely be doing a Gaming Friday on it because I love the franchise so far.
Yeah.
Next question is from Ironglade Dragonov.
Hey, Ironglade.
What do you guys think about the upcoming Terminator movie?
China.
I am staying neutral. I am not excited. I'm expecting mediocrity.
The Chinese market will hopefully love it.
Yes.
Because it's definitely been made for those guys.
Linda Hamilton's back. I'm partially excited. James Cameron's given his blessing to it.
I'm worried they're going to have a dream sequence with Michael Biehn back.
Really?
Yeah, and either they'll have him look old, so we'll all be like, how's he old in the dream sequence?
They'll
or
CGI it.
they'll CGI him and
Like
it'll look
Arnie.
really bad.
No, it looked like Arnie, hopefully. Arnie was pretty good in the one CGI scene they did.
What, in Salvation?
Genesis.
Was it Salvation?
Salvation it was.
Yeah, Salvation.
Is Salvation...
I mean, they CGI'd in both because they had the same model.
I mean,
thing in the fucking Genesis.
If we're comparing it, I don't mind Salvation, I don't mind Terminator 3.
slipping.
I don't mind Genesis to a point.
Well, let's be honest. Take my
more I
heart.
watch it, the more I
bit
hate
where he
it.
saves John Connor with his heart.
Or just Terminator Heart.
And I know I
Yeah,
was so
that
annoyed
was-
by that because
that
I
was
liked his
fucking
character
stupid.
where she's laying with him and like that's a nice
Yeah.
romance. She's like I love how steady your heartbeat is, and you're just sitting there going that's kind of romantic. I'm just gonna kill him off at the end. Okay, none of this character development served any purpose for me.
The only reason why I enjoy Salvation is because of the Kyle Reese storyline.
Michael Ironside.
Michael Ironside.
Yeah.
Anthony Elton.
Anyway,
But we're anticipating awful.
we live in
after
the age
what
of
else we've seen.
disappointment. It's just
Yeah.
brace for the worst,
Brace for it.
brace for the worst.
Both for it.
and you can only be cheerful if it turns out to be okay.
Was it say at the end of the first one? There's a storm coming.
No, yeah. Next question is from Jay Hodgkinson.
Hey, Jay.
Each of you is in charge of rebooting, soft rebooting, a classic 80s horror villain. Who do you choose, and what changes do you make to modernise them for present day?
Oh,
Love your fist bump.
this reminds me actually.
Taking Pinhead.
I saw
Because I know you guys have been reviewing the films, but I know I've watched 2 of the film sequels, and I hated every single second of them. I just get the original writer
You'd
back on
reboot
board.
Pinhead.
Reboot
You're
it.
in charge of it. Who do you choose?
Who do
And
I
what
choose?
changes do you make to modernise them?
Oh, which actor do I go for?
Do you stick him in a house?
If I was going to be taking, I'm gonna reboot Freddy Krueger again. I don't know who I'm gonna get to play. Oh, I'm gonna get Robert Englund.
You've no imagination.
Okay.
I don't care. And he will be. And we're gonna reboot it. You know, same exact setup, the exact same thing, but I would just utilize the nightmare scenarios with lots of budget. I'm going to borrow James Cameron's fucking cameras. You know, I'm just going to make sure that Freddy is playful and toys with them and jokes with them, but then when he's coming in for the kill, he's the meanest, most sadistic psychopath.
Well, he's a paedophile, and that should be important.
I want the Joker. I want Freddy to be both. I want him to remind you that he's scary after he's made you laugh. That's how I want to do Freddy Krueger. I want the best of both of him, and we just haven't got that.
Well, with Pinhead, I'd have it directed by Del Toro. Because I'm the executive producer.
Okay,
I want a Cthulhu. I want a mythos horror.
Yeah.
Because I want the mythos
I
edge
hear
that you get with Del Toro. And then actor, I'm thinking...
Will Smith.
You can still get the original actor.
What, blue Will
Get
Smith.
Get Doug Bradley back.
Or maybe Doug Bradley.
still
But then
alive.
again, I kind of want you want a man who's walked out of. I still want the theme of World War II because he was a trench suffering World War II veteran who travelled the Orient and kind of came corrupted by this eldritch device that takes him to a plane otherwise. So I kind of want an actor who can play, maybe Tom Hardy. It sounds stupid. I mean, I like his character roles, and I think he could do the switch where he hints some of the character that was just echoes through Pinhead.
Because you remember, Pinhead forgot that he was a human.
Yeah, but you want to tick that he wouldn't remember, but you almost want to tell.
Well, then it's your mythos that's being changed. So.
Yeah, and again, Pinhead's. There we go. That would be me.
See, I'd do the Critters remake.
Yeah.
Who can recast as Critters?
Well,
Ian McKellen voicing one of the Critters.
well, they'd be a cross between prosthetic and CGI. So there'd be a lot of them, right? There'd be a canister crashes in
we get all surviving members of the
back of the
Monty
American town, right? The Critters come out, they eat all the farmland, they eat all the cows.
Yeah.
Some of them grow bigger. The town has to root together, but it's like Piranha 3 Double D.
Well, it isn't.
But
I do argue that Critters aren't
worse.
notorious. Critters
Super
aren't.
gory.
These things
I
are
would
gonna
say
fly.
Critters.
They're
Super
gonna.
sleazy.
I would say you're broadly stretching the question, but go with it.
They're gonna eat.
They're not
through
really a
car.
villain. They're more of a monster.
They're gonna eat through a
Although
car
we did
and
choose
then
monstrous
eat
villains.
Up, eat up into the people. You know, there's gonna be a part where there's gonna be an army tank, and the critter flies down.
All right,
the
there's got to be a leader critter. Who
Tank.
would you make play a leader critter? It can be a voice acting. It can be something. It's got to be some part of an actor involved.
Who was Priscilla Queen of the Desert? Is it Terrence Stamp? Yeah, Terrence Stamp.
Zod.
Yeah, and Salma Hayek.
Kneel before
She'd be a female critter. That's just me.
Salma Hayek and amazing.
Oh,
It'd have Adam Sandler in it.
Next question is from Mick McCool.
Hey Mick.
Good day, guys. Hope you are all well. Name your top 3 films from the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then the best out of all of them.
Oh, it's an odd one. I'm going to throw Jurassic Park in the hat because I really.
Jurassic Park from 90s.
It was one of the first films I saw at the cinema as a kid because I didn't go to the cinema.
The Thing from the 80s.
Yeah, Thing from the 80s, and I'm going to take Alien from the 70s.
That's not bad.
I'd probably say Alien is the best.
Or
of those.
Halloween.
Aliens in the 80s.
Alien
and Alien
Aliens.
3 in the 90s.
Not the best of them, but it was still fun. I like Alien 3.
There's so many good films from the 70s. I mean, you got fucking
So it's
Vanishing Point.
There's so many films. I mean, it's hard to go through them all. Do we include like?
You know what? That's how I feel today. Ian, as Vanishing Point is going to be my best out of all 3 of those choices.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, on any other day, it would be The Thing or Blade Runner.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Big Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
I was going to say
Black Hole Down. Shallow Hal.
Bad Boys.
Nice. Bad Boys.
Because you chose different films, I was just like, I'm going to find a genre that isn't
Bad
in
Boys is a badass movie.
It's a great film. The
Yeah,
sequel
great
disappointed me so
Is that
crippling.
Bruckheimer or Bay?
Bruckheimer.
Bruckheimer.
Yeah, it's Brockheimer because Bay
Had some
did.
brown
What is it,
sugar.
Bay?
Was it both of them?
I think it might have been both, actually. I think it could have been both. But either way, yes, there you go. Some weird films to throw at you.
Yeah.
Next question is from David Morris.
Hey, David.
Before the mouse took over, favourite Disney character, hero or villain? Brill podcast as always. Cheers.
Wait, is he saying films that came before Disney?
The film before Disney merged and brought Marvel.
Well, we're going to mention Howard the Duck.
Howard the Duck is pretty badass. Villain, I've always loved Jafar.
It's going to be Blade,
Yeah.
I think. No. It's before Disney. It's
Favourite Disney character, hero or villain?
Yeah, why did you say Blade?
No, wait. Before the mouse took over.
Favourite Disney character, hero or villain?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Shere
Wait, why is
Khan.
it before the mouse took over? Because Disney have always owned Disney.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry, I was thinking
Before-
Marvel. I thought it was a Marvel question for some reason. Sorry.
before the mouse took over everything else.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it was just Disney making Disney stuff, before they took over
the 90s
Pixar,
and back.
and before they took over Marvel,
Best villain
before
and
they took
hero.
over Fox.
Yeah.
Or hero. Villain or hero. You're right.
Marvelous Madam Mim from Sword and Stone. She's good.
My favourite villain as well, I'm going to take the guy from The Love Bug.
Oh, the guy with the mustache.
Oh, the mustache, yeah.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
That guy.
I keep forgetting his name. Every time in the podcast, I forget his name.
Certain man you might love and know from Hades, from Hercules.
No?
Yeah.
Do you know who voiced it?
No.
James Woods.
James Woods, very good.
Hades and the hero.
He voices villains a lot of
Merlin.
times.
I'll go with Merlin from Sword and Stone as my
Awesome
hero.
choice.
There you go.
And Jafar. It's the magic, man. It's
Yeah, the
powers.
magic.
Yeah.
Next question is from Sean Pierce.
Hey, Sean.
Hi guys, what are your thoughts on the rumoured Escape from New York reboot? What would you like to see from the film? Great show as always. I think we commented on it on another podcast that was being made.
Yeah, it's you like all things with all reboots.
It's the reboot of Big Trouble in Little China with The Rock.
Yeah, with The Rock.
Yeah, I'm always nervous because you don't want to get your hopes up. And I mean, this is, like I said, for games as well, it's all genre. If you're taking a classic and trying to bring it back, you need to go somewhere really original. I think the best example, like Fincher's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, because the original native language version trilogy is quite good.
Yeah.
And then they did Fincher's, and I love Fincher's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
It's a solid film. Yeah.
It's a great film. It stands on its own 2 feet. It had an identity to itself. So I think whatever you do with any reboot, you need to find something. Unlike, I don't know, something about Star Trek earlier, something Spock dies, something Khan.
No, they shouldn't remake Escape from New York.
Yeah,
because it's just going to put more action in it, and
they should let Guy Pearce do Lockout too.
You know, whoever.
Please, Gary will review that again.
How do you redo Snake? You know.
Yeah, who's gonna
Tom Hardy
do the remake?
I'm looking at the Rock because he's about to do Big Trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, but he's not playing, Kurt Russell's character.
Well, he won't be playing Snake in.
If they do their own standalone,
he'll be playing Blade, fucking kicking nuts.
Yeah, he'll be playing the Rock dude. Rock plays the Rock.
He's going to be dropping.
He stopped bothering acting about 4 films ago.
Dropping into New York to save the president. Oh, guess who's got a cameo? Donald Trump.
That's unlikely.
He'll be the Duke of New York, mate.
The Duke of New York.
He'll be the Duke of New York.
Next question is from Amir Osman.
Hey, Amir.
Hi, my question for this podcast. How do you think Game of Thrones' final season will play out?
Oh dear, you don't
What big events do you think will happen during the season? And how will it end?
Fucking Arya's going to kill everybody and take the phone.
That's Ian's prediction and has been from the start.
Yeah.
Jez, do you have a prediction?
Yeah, do you have a prediction?
I have a very complex prediction, but I'll keep it short.
Go on then.
Right, just say who's
name.
arriving on the throne at the end.
You want to say nobody, because nobody can survive it all.
Well, those people will survive. I think you'll see the 2 Targaryens. I think, but they won't be a throne. I think the nature of the whole story is the throne is a misdirection.
Again?
So I think
Jon and Daenerys.
I think the Seven Kingdoms will change its, dare I say, political system to some extent.
Yeah,
but I think Jon and at least one of those 2, the Targaryens will win the overall.
They're going to kill each other, mate.
One of them will live and win the overall combat.
No.
Or both will unite, as they seem to have done, and run it for most of the next season away from the armies of the dead, losing constantly.
One of them's going to do something, and the other one's going to be like, no!
There's going to be... No, that's drama. That's going to happen in the midst of it.
Yeah, but it's
She's pregnant with this kid almost certainly, because that's logical. The Targaryens are like incest. They were like other sides of the planet, and they're like, well, the last 2 Targaryens, we've got to find each other. Why?
I theorise that Jon Snow will be victorious to the very end, and whatever magic was used to bring the White Walkers back is the same magic that's in Jon,
and it's
even though it's different. Yeah. And once the magic's been rested, all the dead have put to rest, Jon Snow will die.
But his son,
even though he'll die the hero, but his son will. I reckon Daenerys will also die, and they will be survived by their child.
Yes,
to live into the next age.
Yeah, or she'll survive the end of the movie.
And they will probably be housed by
Starks.
By a Stark. I reckon a Stark will still be a one in the law.
There will be a Stark otherwise as well, because I think you'll see one of the 2 sisters survive, and I suspect it's going to be Arya, and I think she'll marry Gendry Baratheon.
I think there's
because the Baratheons were loyal in the old days. The Baratheons came over with the Targaryens. They're the 2 ancient bloodlines, and they were the loyal lieutenants to them. They weren't dragon riders.
Jamie Lannister will survive. He'll have his redemption, and he'll end up being one of the protectors of the North afterwards.
Well, he'll be the last Lannister. He'll kill his sister.
Yeah,
I think that would be the poetic justice. The Hound will obviously kill the Mountain.
Yeah. I think they'll kill each other.
I think you'll see.
I think the Hound will die.
I think the Hound and the Mountain will kill each other. Literally, die in each other's arms.
I'll be honest. You can take other characters like Brienne of Tarth. I don't know what they'll do with her.
She's going to survive.
I think the one-eyed Dondarrion, Beric Dondarrion, the guy with one eye. He's the one who keeps dying and keeps getting brought back.
Yes.
What's going to stop the White Walkers then?
The
magic in the end.
No, I think it's the Heartseeker. Remember, it's the prince that was promised. One, I think it's either going to be... I think it's Snow, most likely. But how they ignite the swords, that's an interesting one. And I think the other character that could be, if it isn't Snow, will be Lannister. Because there's something about his... In the books, it's a bit vague, but there's hints about his golden hands are referenced in certain parts.
But at the same time, Bran seems like a big fucking deal.
Bran is not
going to... time manipulator.
He's... I hate to say it if we're talking about narrative structure, he's the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
If I need to relay information that I can't relay because he's killed a lot of people. So you need a guy who can go, right, how would we find that information out? They're dead. Those people who knew those people are dead. Okay, time travel. So Bran is our exposition guy who links up, like right at the end of the season. It's like, oh yeah, but he's a sand. No. There's a marriage certificate. Can you see this? Well, let me just tune in. Oh yes, apparently you're the legitimate Targaryen king of everything, and you're banging your aunts, which means good news. You've kept the tradition going, inbreeding for the win. Hey, not as inbred as the last couple of generations. They were brothers and sisters for the most part. So long story short, I think that's how it'll play out.
However it plays out, it's going to be pretty epic. It's going to be pretty
Melisandre,
stupid, but...
the Red Witch, I think she's key to the sword. I saw a little theory that said Heartseeker, bit of a weapon there, stabbed in the heart of a fiery bent, makes a fiery sword. So that makes a lot of sense. And since Jon's been given Heartseeker, wasn't it? He hasn't been given it yet, but I think Jon will be given it's the blade of the House Tully.
Yes, it's the Sam's got.
Sam's weapon. He'll give it to his friend, and I think you'll see somehow it'll end up in his hands for the finale, and that will be ignited into heart by he'll become the prince that was promised. And
spoilers, you just completely.
If I've got it right, sorry guys, I really am.
These are just our guesses, predictions, fans of Game of Thrones, as we've been waiting 2 years now for the finale.
Because I think Melisandre's omen of she's coming back to this land once more time to die. She's going to be at the final battle.
Yeah.
But one last twist, I think may be legit.
Rick Grimes turns.
No, they only broke past. They only broke past the wall when the little baby that Sam's protecting went over the wall, and he is probably either Stark-blooded or Targaryen-blooded. And I believe the books hinted at this. Again, this is me referencing broadly the books. The books are going to influence this because the writers know where they're going vaguely, because obviously they've been talking to the writer.
Yeah.
So I think you'll find that baby may be triggering this invasion because they need them. The White Walkers are made from those children. They're not because you saw the little baby turn to ice.
Yeah.
So those White Walkers, shall we say, procreate from the inbreeding that's going on the border. Yeah. They don't need a lot of them, but they lose a few in the battles. Jon slays one. It's White Harbour. No, not White Harbour. The Wildling Harbour they're at one point. So long story short, there's lots of tricks. There's so much going on. We need to stop talking because there's too much to explain.
One final question is from Jake Adams.
Hey, Jake.
Iain and Gary, you are visited by your dark halves, Iain and Barry. They are tired of being the others and want to be the real halves. Okay.
Right.
They are supporting fellows. They are you, after all.
Yeah.
And are giving you the choice of what game to play to fight for existence. What game will it be, Tetris? Remember, they know all your tricks. It will be a fair fight. What do you do? It's going to be 50-50 then.
Rochambeau, I'll go first. And my other half will be damn, I didn't think of that.
Rochambeau, who goes first?
Yeah, I'll go first. My dark half wouldn't actually be that dark. Actually, he'd be doing everything right. He'd be coming along and being like, man, I've made so much money in my life. Here, just have some. I'll be like,
but he'd be greatly unhappy. He might not have a family.
Yeah, but remember, you're fighting for existence.
Oh yeah, totally.
So
he'll be on his own and alone.
One of you gets to stop existing, so you'll be like, oh man, you've got it better off existing.
Because my other half would have already made up time travel and dimensional travel.
Okay.
And would have given me those devices, and plus I'd have also got my powers back from.
Your dark half's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man, good shit on
the side. I'm filming with the wrong half.
Man, I can. Yeah, that's it.
I'm joking, Iain.
Yeah,
be a fair fight. I would just choose Tetris. It'd be over pretty quickly.
I was going to say Doom Online.
I'd tell my light half to fuck off.
Yeah, see, that's it. I'd be like, why are you looking so smug? I've got all this and you've got money. and Jules and those
No, you're missing
women
the point.
in your boat.
I don't think the light. It's more of a karmic opposite to you rather than
visited
a
by
man.
your dark halves.
Well, dark half.
I'm pretty fucking dark. I'd kill everybody if I had 2 second chance. You know, I've seen The Dark Knight enough that I'd be like, yeah, that'd be me.
No. You're a man who hasn't killed everybody because your other part would probably be killing everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not got any restraint. He's got whatever good is in you is not
so
there.
he wouldn't need to take me out.
Well, apparently he's offering
he's taking you out.
Apparently
to
he's
exist
taking
himself.
time out from his genocidal rampages to go. Well, Ian, what
on a
game do you want to
cross-dimensional
play?
rampage.
So like the one with Jet
Choose
Li.
one game.
Yeah.
Actually, Ian, the one where you can stop him. Choose a game you have no fucking idea how to play. He won't know either. The best you can hope for is just get lucky.
Yeah, but we'd fight to the death and I'd probably kill him.
Go for polo.
You know,
You have horses and sticks involved. Nobody would be really sure how to ride them.
he'd have learned all those proper martial arts,
Or
but he wouldn't be
water polo.
prepared for like thumb to the eyes. You know,
Maybe extreme
punch the
bungee
nuts.
jumping.
I think you underestimate your dark half.
Well, it depends on how
Whatever you
dark.
can think of, he's thought of it too.
Yeah, but not enjoyed it as much.
Who's your dark half?
He's enjoyed it more.
It's not that dark, really.
Okay.
You know?
Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the podcast. I want to thank you, Jez, for joining us and sharing your wisdom and knowledge of Star Trek.
It's
Yeah.
fine. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening. I'm going to cough very quickly.
Yep.
We'll be back next month with another podcast. Of course, new film reviews on Thursdays, Gaming Fridays. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Patreon.
Yes.
Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
Take it
Maybe
easy.
live.